There we go. I swear to God, every single time it changes my audio input, and I'm like, the default is supposed to be this, but it always changes to something else. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get OBS. Oh, hi, sweetie. Hi. Oh, that's my chair. There. Oh, we have a friend. We have a friend. Hello, Rusty. Hi, do you want to come sit? You want to come sit? Hi. Yeah? Want to come down? He's like, nah. Where are you gonna go? Okay, he's just gonna sit here with us, apparently. Yep. Yep, this is his new chair. I know, the only thing is, so he's heavy enough now that whenever he climbs up the back of my chair, it tilts back. And so I'll just be, like sitting here, maybe like drinking my coffee or something, and a couple of times he's jumped up there, the chair is tilted back, and like coffee goes all over, and I'm like, son of a bitch, you're very, very cute, but now I have to get up. It's like, But yeah, he has been in his little cardboard box. He has a new cardboard box, and he loves it. Yeah, you love it? Yeah. Boop, boop. He's just been so adorable recently. And Baby has been surprisingly tolerant, especially after they kind of had a little bit of a fight, just a little bit. More, he ran straight at her, and then she hissed at him, and he freaked out. Ooh. Okay. Okay, he's going back to his cardboard box. I know, it's like, so sometimes he'll come up while doing that, and I'll be playing Valorant or something, and I'm like really trying to aim, and he'll just get up there, and I'm like, whoop, I can't aim, guys, I'm very, very sorry, I can't do anything, my cat's here. And a lot of the times they're just like, yeah, mine's on my lap right now, can't do anything either. We're like, yep, same. We're gonna lose the competitive match, but it's okay. It's fine, because our cats are here. It's like, yeah. Let me see. We are going to be playing some Valorant tonight, which is going to be a little bit different than we usually have been doing this past couple of weeks. Second. Oh yeah, I'm cold otherwise. This is the warmest room in the house. I have a sweatshirt on and I'm still cold, so I have to. Yeah. I don't know why. I'm always cold and most of the time I have a fever. So I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it, y'all. It makes absolutely no sense. We're just like, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Why is this? I swear to God, ever since Twitch did like an update or something, my stream manager doesn't properly work. It does not properly work. It's very odd. Very, very odd. Let's see, what was that? Oh!
Omig_Offy just redeemed lose the glasses.
There we go. I'm like, I was looking at something on my wall. Yeah, there was a bug there, and I'm like, oh god, I don't think it's a spider. I don't think so. It's just like a blob. I looked at it with my glasses on. It was just a shadow. It was just a shadow, and I'm like, holy shit. We did not see that. Oh my god. Yeah, my Dragonite is back here with Rusty and my little mermaid unicorn thing. And a book about really important stuff that my cats taught me. It's perfect. It's the little corner over there. Rusty used to sleep there, but he's like, if he's on this area, he's like, I'm just gonna sleep on your lap. Why would I go anywhere else? I'm like, fair. That is fair. Let's see. We might do a little bit of Marble Rivals right before. No, that's all my notes and stuff. I was able to do a couple of the things, but that's okay. I only got a couple of things done. It's better than I thought, though. So let's see. I think we are going to play. We have about an hour, so I can get a couple of Rivals games. We've been losing a lot of competitive matches, which is very, very bad, but at the same time, we're just gonna, like, live life. And yeah. Okay, I can't see this. I've not been able to do nothing. Am I reading that correctly? Oh, wait. New update. I forgot about this. I forgot about it. There we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you gotta be up early. We'll probably only be on for like a couple of hours or something. But I don't know if like afterwards we're gonna do anything. We might have like a comp group after that, although I kind of doubt it. It's just like Valorant, basically, competitive Valorant makes everyone sad. Competitive Marvel Rivals makes everyone filled with rage. Like, literally, for the first time in my life, I felt the need to punch the wall. Never before in my life have I ever felt that. But this time, I'm like, I was playing it, and I'm like, holy shit, this is horrible. We should have won these games. But we didn't. And so I'm like, okay, we're filled with rage, but it's fine. It is fine. Let's see. So yeah, we are going to play a little bit of Rivals, and then we'll head over to Valorant once we have our group together. So let's see. Oh, and I also found this really cool little, oh, where is it? Where is it? It's not that. Oh, that's right. So it's on this. We have all my stats and everything. I love that. I love that we can actually do that. It's not a lot, but it's fine. It's fine. I can barely see it. Oh, let's be honest. I can't see anything. But it's just like my match history, my rank, and everything. I love that. Hey, 99. Oh my goodness. I've had a morning with them. So they got into a little bit of a fight, but it was okay. Rusty, if he ran straight at Baby and tried to like jump on top of her. And to be fair, if that happened to me, I too would hiss and run away, which is exactly what Baby did. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's a valid response to this. That's a valid response. And he's just been like running into rooms that she is in. It's like, oh my god. Where is the library? Where's the library? It's just always yelling, where's the library? Okay, let's see. Sprays, matches, damage. Okay. Oh, okay. I can just play Magneto when I need to do that, and that should be good. Oh boy, we're at -13. We're at -13. I don't know what that says. I can't see anything without my glasses. Without my glasses. Oh, let me get the audio up. Oh, is that already on it? No, it's not. Okay, I got it. I can see nothing, guys. I can see nothing. Okay, wait, is it time? What does that say? Does it say 5 minutes? It says 4 minutes. It says, okay, we're gonna say 5 minutes, because I can't see what you guys are saying. There we go. Mine type. Something's not my type. I'm American. I don't know what the first word is, but I know the rest of it. Don't know how. I'm magically able to tell. I'm magic. We have 3 Wandas on this team. Guys, we have 3.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Okay, who are we gonna play? I don't want to play a healer. I kind of want to play Squirrel Girl.
And kick butt.
Kind of want to play Squirrel Girl. Oh, but they have a Wanda.
We are Cloak and Dagger.
Wait.
Eat nuts and kick butt.
Okay, we have Invisible Woman. They're a Lord Wanda. I mean, I did finally get Lord Cloak and Dagger and Lord Penny. But I'm like, I don't really want to play Penny. Let's see how we do today.
Round 1.
It's like for every one that we win, we lose 2. It's been second recently. Okay, Loki, Invisible Woman. If we had, there we go, Thor. This is an okay team. We have nothing to counter Spider-Man or really any flying thing. So, oopsie. Worms breach? Do not. Yeah, I got no clue about that sentence. I'm like, I need the Google Translate. I need the Google Translate.
4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area.
Guys, I'm scared. Oh, what do they have? And they have an Iron Man. And they have an Iron Man. Oh boy.
A little help, please.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! There's someone right there. Oh yeah. The magic of Google. Okay, what counters Iron Man? Because whatever it is, yeah.
I'm right here with healing magic. I'm right here with healing magic.
Yeah, I can't get Iron Man. What does counter Iron Man? I don't know. I can't get up my notes. Maybe next time I die, I'll try. Yeah, Squirrel Girl is not the play here, I don't think. Ow, come on.
Ooh, a touch of healing. They don't look friendly.
Come on, okay. I believe in us. I believe in us.
A little help, please.
Oh, bitch! He was so close to being dead. I hate Groot. I hate him so much.
This is real firepower!
Come on. Oh, okay, yeah, no. Squirrel Girl is not the play here. Google mine when it's perfect something. Ausland in the Dutch.
Here I come again.
I got nothing, y'all. I got nothing.
Feel the pull.
Maybe?
I had more tricks than they had arms.
I appreciate you.
Okay. Come on. Yes, nice.
I am ready to put on a show.
Oh, come on, Groot's one, Groot's one.
Hello.
Yes.
Chip in. A little help, please.
Castle went down fighting.
Okay, nice.
Too many
Never mind, Squirrel Girl is the play here. Squirrel Girl is the play. What's up? He thinks German. Tell him I just know random languages. Oh, yeah, no, he knows.
I appreciate you.
I can guarantee you that he knows. He double walled that? How did he double wall that?
Armed and dangerous!
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Oh, I'm fine.
What?
Don't mind
Someone
me.
behind us? I don't think so.
Jimmy just spotted bad guys. There they are.
Oops. Good luck against Thor, y'all. I have not hit him once, bro.
My animal pals are way cuter, Namor.
Ouch. Ouchies. Ouchies. Oh, damn, I wasn't even looking. I'll take that. I love that when I actually do anything right, it's because I'm not looking at the screen. I'm like, yeah, that's about right for me.
This is real firepower!
You just, oh my god. You just meleeed him to death. That's wonderful. Go squirrels! Go squirrels! Yes! Yes, squirrels!
That's 3. Honestly,
Never mind, Squirrel Girl is the play here! Last two words are saying I'm also lying. Oh my god, I would love to know like what all these languages are. Oh yeah, he's using Google hard. It is interesting to see like the random sentences that he learns and stuff though. Come on, he's low.
yikes! Too many tentacles. Too many tentacles.
My god, I love her new voice line. Too many tentacles! Okay, this is actually good.
Time to go nuts.
I thought. Oh,
Dangerous!
no! Nope.
Again!
I don't want to be here. How am I the only person on point? I'm like, no thank you, no thank you. There should be a health pack here. No, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. Fun fact, the closest the US ever got to an official language was German. Really? Really?
I
I thought it would be like maybe Spanish or Portuguese. Or maybe it's just because I'm in Rhode Island. We have a very, very large Portuguese community. And Italian community.
Real firepower!
We have a lot of different cultures here, actually. Go squirrels! Oh, my squirrels missed. My squirrels missed, y'all. They're still going. They're still going. Invisible woman, use your ult. Use your ult. Use your ult. We have 2 ults that can be used for healing.
Assemble! Bring on the chaos.
Okay. Okay, that, and we double ulted. That was not Gucci.
A little bit, please. Now that's
That was not Gucci, y'all. Ouchies. Come on. Ah.
Some sort of sweet.
Come on. He's on 1. Oh, ish. 1-ish.
ooh, a touch of healing.
I hate like the random rocks on this map because it makes all of the
Got this big acorn.
it makes all of my acorns go weird.
You deserve. Time to go nuts.
Come on! Go squirrels! Go squirrels! Yeah, it's just his job. It's just his job, y'all.
Seconds left. Get that vehicle moving again.
We only have
I'm
60
not done
seconds
with this
left.
fight
My squirrels didn't get me one. We have no ults. Okay, we almost have 2 ults. And he's dead. And another one's dead.
Now I feel.
Back to the depths, vile creature.
Everyone is just secretly still in high school. They just don't know it.
This is real firepower! Armed and dangerous!
Did he get anyone? Oh, I can't right here.
Zang.
I'm gonna be killed. Yeah.
Move faster. If no rises, we all fall.
Okay. Nice. Okay, okay, this is possible. This is possible.
I am ready to put on a show.
No! You ass! I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm not. I'm not dead. Nice. Oh, let's go! Let's go! Okay, nice. We got this. We got this. Someone said I had a Gru side profile. I remember hearing about that. Where the hell is Rocket? Oh, there he is.
You can return the favor anytime. Got you covered.
Oh, she tried to solo us. That's so cute. To be fair, I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing, guys. I would have done the same thing.
Current score is 3, 2, 0.
You know, below
Time
the
to
poverty
switch
line?
things up,
What the?
including
There's
which
different
side
fire
you're
alarms
on.
for people? There's different fire
Nuts
alarms?
and kick butt.
This is the first I'm hearing about it.
All the difference.
My god. I wonder if my fire alarms work. That's another thing I should check. They probably do. Probably. I know, like, nothing about taking care of a home. Nothing at all, guys. Your fire alarm chirps if you don't replace the batteries. I remember it was doing that for a while. I can't remember if we took it off and just didn't put it back together, or if we put it back together with batteries.
My name's Doreen
It's
Green,
one or
and
the
it makes me
other.
sad when
I just
people
can't
don't
remember.
listen to
And
animals.
aren't they supposed to have like a little light on them? Because I don't know if ours just does not have a light to save battery, or if it just
We'll be
I don't
coming
know.
in 30
I don't know.
seconds. Stay strong.
Hey, I like your firearm.
I'm like, yeah, it'll be interesting. We're next to the woods as well, so no matter what, we're. Oh, wait, no, I missed, guys, I missed.
Let's see.
I missed. 2, 1, we got it.
Mini black hole.
Fuck, I missed again. Oh my god, I can't.
Battle starts
I
in
can't.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, there we go, I got it.
You have to stop them from
I
securing
got
the
it.
mission area.
Take me a little bit, but I got it.
How about I switch things up and make our opponents disappear?
I don't like up there. Up there scares me.
They look like they mean business.
Okay, they have a Finny. It's one of their tanks. Okay, so that's actually good. Because then Penny's better on defense, not offense. Okay. Come on, yes, I got Strange. Okay, I counter Penny, so that's good. Oh my god, no, it's been bad. I had someone, it's been very bad with, in-game, just, it's been horrible. Wait, it's ready? Portal. Okay. Are they just, like, not going through here? Did I get him? What the fuck is this? There we go. Oh, I didn't get him. I didn't get my acorn. There we go. It's fine. It's fine. First time. Wait, I contacted you the first time. I contacted you the first time. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, once they get on site, then I'll use my ult. No, I asked him on Reddit for help with content creation. That's how we learned of each other. Go squirrels! Go squirrels! I should not have used my squirrels for that. Tee-hee! Oh, okay, wasn't aiming for him. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We got this. Especially since I went to 2 different high schools, I really don't talk to anyone from either high school. There's like 3 people basically. Come on, I swear I saw someone back here. Maybe I lied. Instantly dead! I was right, there was someone back here. You little bitch.
I am ready to put on a show.
See, I killed her.
Armed and dangerous! Again!
No. Oh, I did.
Only 60 seconds left.
Said the first day. Oh yeah, that's what you said.
Again!
No. Oh, it's again. Again. Run, invisible woman. Oh, she's dead as well. We might have to give this one up. May have to give this one up, but we do have 2, almost 3 ults. Why are you portaling? We don't need to portal?
You need to stop that vehicle.
Save the portal!
Enemy in our sights.
Oh, but he already started it, so okay. Whoops. And we're gonna do that. Yeah, I got Venom. And he res, of course he did. Okay, Bucky. Revenge. No, we're not Venom. Come on, he's won. Okay. The what? Wait, 1 second. Come on, get Magneto! He's so low! He's not really low anymore, but still, he's the spirit of being low. Okay, Venom's actually doing very good at diving, not ours. I'm alive? Come on! No, don't free Magneto! Oh, how am I alive? Holy shit. Yeah, once upon a time, a lot of us were good. Yeah. And then, now the game is horrible. I like to say, Valorant makes me sad, Marvel Rivals makes me angry. Competitive. Sometimes not competitive, sometimes just the game. Depends on the day. Is that ours? There we go. Okay, so I'll wait on my ult.
This is real firepower!
Actually, no, he didn't do shit. Oh, it bounced! It bounced! It did nothing! Oh, he's so low!
You can return the favor anytime.
Ah! It's the whale! Okay, Namor is going after me. He's going after me. Living off my glory days. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just like, it's just everything. That's why I'm like, I don't even play ranked really anymore on Valorant, because I'm like, once upon a time I was gold too. Once upon a time. These days are your glory days?
I'm gonna get
Ooh, I got him. He didn't get it again. 4 seconds. 3.
I am ready to put
God
on
damn
a
it.
show.
Luna!
You'll have to keep fighting until you have a winner.
Okay, so ours will outpace Luna. Okay, come on, let me keep pace. Let me keep pace. Who is on site? Who the fuck is on site? Was that Rocket? I think it was Rocket. I'm the ace. I'm the
Final
ace.
score. 3, 2,
Got
1.
old back pain. Yeah, everyone, it's like sitting at a desk basically is back pain.
Another epic victory.
I know, everyone. Time is going on. It's horrible, guys. Can we like stop it? Okay, 30, that's fine, that's fine. Okay. I'm not going down to plat 2. That's good. What time is it? We have enough time for like one more. And probably I'll lose that one and then we'll go back down. Oh my god. Purchase the new Obsidian game coming out in February. The Obsidian game? Oh wait, do we have... I think we have enough to level up to the next level of the battle pass. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. 6, 7... 70 more! I need 70 more. It is 8 o'clock for me. So we have half an hour until our thingy. Yeah, that makes sense. Until the thingy. 4 KO streak, Iron Fist or Magneto. Actually, let's refresh that, see if I can get something else. 50 assists? Okay, okay. 2 a.m. Oh, I've been going to bed so late. It's like the only time that I'm awake is like 4 a.m. It's like when I wake up, even if I get like 9 hours of sleep, I do not like function. For at least another 2 or 3 hours, I won't be able to function. We have a plat 3 on our team? Okay, but 2 diamond 3s to make up for it. So I bet they're queued together. We have 2 plat 3s. How is this equal? This is not an equal game. Oh, one of them's a squirrel girl. Doreen's peanuts. She's definitely gonna go squirrel girl. Let's see if they insta-lock. Do they?
Eat nuts and
Kick butts. Like 7 a.m. Yeah, that's basically when I go to bed. That's basically when I go to bed. Is anyone? Okay, Lord Penny. If I have to go Cloak and Dagger, I will, but I kind of want to keep with Squirrel Girl. I really like her on this map. Only work late night shift. That's good. It's like,
Round 1.
I don't know, for some reason, oh, we have 3 tanks. Do we want 3 tanks? Do we want 2 heals instead of 3 tanks?
30 seconds. Stay strong.
Just Cloak and Dagger? That's not...
It's nice to finally team up
That
with
is
somebody
not
just
Gucci.
like me.
I don't like this. I don't like this team comp.
Oh,
Instead of
no. I bet
Magneto,
you
we
have
should
an army of
have... Or
squirrels.
actually, no. Instead of
Does that count?
Strange, I think, we should have another one.
The battle starts in 5.
But that's fine.
3.
Good luck, Cloak and Dagger.
2, 1.
We're gonna be dying a
Securing
lot.
the mission area.
Alright, good team comp.
I appreciate
This will be interesting. This will be very interesting.
I'll switch my bad.
They're like, oh, my bad. I'm like, I said it before. Oh, and, oh, someone got kidnapped. Someone got kidnapped. Oh my god, it's a wild Logan. Who is that? No! Wait, oh, now we have a Jeff, okay. I've already got 2 kills? Do I? Did I? Are we sure about that? I'm not sure about that.
Fight yet.
I can't believe who got kidnapped that first time. That's a pretty good Wolverine. Although he didn't kill the one that he kidnapped. So actually I should be happy about that. It's the other team. Why am I like, oh, he could do more? Nope. Nope. They tried to solo ult me? Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, but they used both of their support ults. Oh my god, I can't. The cooking stream for like nearly a month. See? This is how I feel. I'm like, I just do not understand how people get stuff done. I even like playing video games. I can't get that done too often. Yeah, cause like most of the day it's like, okay, are we able to like function to get up and like make food? And I'm like, 50-50. What the fuck was that? Oh, there's a jump pad there? I never knew that. Okay, there we go. So we need Mr. Fantastic to focus Storm, I think. Oh, he's won! Yes! Oh, that's a lot of spiders. That's a lot of little spiders.
I have made the nest disappear.
Hey. Oh, he. Okay, yeah, that works. Oh, god damn it. Wolverine, no! Leave us alone! Leave us alone! That's a lot of people! That's a lot of people! I wanna leave! I wanna leave! I wanna leave!
Oh, I love a shield.
No! It was so low! Force you to function? That would make me... Yeah, exactly. It's like putting me it used to be where like I just had to function, so I would do it, and then a little bit of breakdown a couple of times, so I'm like, that is not how you're supposed to do stuff. Could they not see me through there before? I don't think so. No! Tell me they got it. Yes, that's huge. Okay, that's not our
Yo, Jeff, do you put anyone but Jeff?
Yeah.
I feel like we're just getting like pelted with damage.
Bounding back into action.
You got Moon Knight.
Yeah, we definitely... This is not looking good. I did say that we're probably gonna lose this one. Did I just hear a tee-hee? Tee-hee.
Jeff, stop staggering like that, bro. Just die with our team. It'd be more useful.
Oh no! We really need someone to focus Storm. Come on, get Logan, get Logan! Come on, she's low! Penny's so low! Yes! Yay, team! Okay, I'm liking this. Has Storm died? Oh, once. Yeah, no, I cannot get Storm. She's not actually playing Storm how you're supposed to. Storm's supposed to be on the ground with her team. Uh-oh. But to be fair, it's working for her. Life! Nope. Let me see, did she go after me? Okay, no, she went after both of us. Wait, no, she went towards me?
Here I come again. Don't give them another inch. Or else.
Ouch! Ouch!
This is gonna hurt. Get him, squirrel!
Okay, do we have a Wolverine now?
Better stop that beat.
When did that happen? No!
The current score is 0-2-3.
It's Jover. It is, yeah, 2 minutes. To be fair, I've been on the other side of this, and we have actually lost with, like, the total 3 minutes afterwards.
And kick butt. You'll need a top-notch
Mainly,
team
we just
win
need to
this
figure out how the hell to get that storm out of the sky. Let's see. Who counters Storm? Marvel Rivals. My god, what is it? Counters. Zerato. Okay, let's see. Storm is countered by Magneto, Penny, Strange, Hawkeye, Punisher, Star-Lord, Winter Soldier, Warlock, Loki, Luna, and Mantis. Okay, so sounds
30 seconds
like
before you attack. Get ready.
if we could get Strange to focus on her, maybe. I think I fixed it. I think so.
Now let's kick some butt.
I just
Kelly,
don't know
you're pretty cool
if it'll
yourself.
still be fixed on Sunday. But as of right now, it's fixed. As of right
All you
now.
have to do is listen.
I guess if Wolverine can get Storm down, that'd be good.
Body like Doom. He's such an
The battle starts in 5, 4.
But yeah, so we'll see if it stays fixed. Hopefully it will.
All you need to do is capture the
Hopefully.
mission area.
Oh, hella, that'll be good. Wait, are we not? Are we portaling? I guess we're portaling. Tee-hee.
A nice deep voice. Ooh, a touch of feeling. So much for Miss
Going for the healers! Oh, no. Oh, come on. Solo. Is Invisible Woman's 1? Yes, let's go. I got that! Automatic updates in the Steam settings? I did not, but my, I think it's already disabled, because I always have to okay the updates. So it should just be naturally, not automatic.
Got him, Tippy.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take that. Don't know what I did, but okay. Yeah, Hella was definitely the play here. Hella was definitely the play.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
Let's see, what are we gonna do here?
Lovely.
Our enemies are near.
Ooh, a touch of feeling.
Hit a nest of synthetic spiders.
Hey, it worked. Oh, how? Okay, we double ulted. Oh, they killed my spiders. I mean, not my spiders, my squirrels. I've been playing too much Penny. Come on, yep, there we go.
Yay, team.
There we go.
Everybody
I like how we're all standing next to it, but not on it, so it's not going any faster.
the sooner we deliver it, the better.
There we go. For every game, I know at least, like, I had to automatically, I had to manually do it this time, but I just thought, oh hey, game update, I should update my game. I didn't think that it'd be bad. Is that ours? Oh good, that's ours. Why did we double ult? Why did we double ult? Ouch! Damage! No, it's not spider time, Penny. It's not spider time! It is not spider time! Oh god, okay, at least we spawn right here. May as well go to the front line. I'm gonna die anyways. Or not. Or I live. Surprised about that one. I can't get Storm. No, I'm just not good. I'm just not getting Storm. There we go. See? Okay, double ulted. Oh! Oh! No! No! Oh, he didn't get her! He didn't get her! That's huge! That is huge. I keep getting invisible when I feel so bad. Hi, neighbor, want spiders!
I appreciate you.
Who's back here?
The spider bots are gone.
Oh, she's low! She's so low! Oh, we're gonna go into overtime. Do we have time for that? Yeah, we do. Where did he go? Danger, danger, danger! Stranger danger! Oh, damn! Damn! Okay, okay. And we almost have our 2 support ults. That's good.
2, 3.
So they have 2 minutes. Wait, why did it go down? They have 2 minutes, we have 3 minutes? Aren't we supposed to add a minute to each of them? I have no idea how this works. No clue at all. Oh, and after this, I don't have any water with me, so we'll have to get up and get some water before we go and play Valorant, I think. Or we can just do it during. Okay, if we can win this game, that'll be wonderful. That will be wonderful. Okay, so now we're on defense.
Round 3. Go. My tail.
Oh, everything started over?
And is very handy in combat.
What? We didn't almost have what? Is that normal in overtime? I don't think that's normal in overtime. Maybe it's because we both had so much time left.
Stay strong.
I don't know. I don't know. I bet they're gonna portal on site though. I bet so.
We're in this together, Tandy Bowen. Get the stars out of your eyes and let us fight.
And let's go for this angle.
Is at stake. It is
I do love how far the slingshot goes. It's like the best character ever. Oh, and wait, where is it?
The battle starts in 5, 4,
Oh my goodness.
2, 1.
Ella, this is my spot.
You have to start
You're in my
by securing
spot.
the mission area. Hey, I bet I can help with the time fixing thingamajig. Maybe I'll ask Tony next time I see him.
Ooh, 2 of them are low.
Get ready. Here come the bad guys.
See, is that bounce?
I appreciate you. Just embrace the light.
Oh, Magna blocked it. They have a Wanda?
Tiny little spiders, look out! Goodbye,
Oh, come on, that totally hit. That totally hit. Okay, nice. I'm not doing much right now, but that's cool.
Time to go next.
Ooh, Wanda's still in here?
Only 60 seconds left.
Come on! Oh, she's won! She is won!
And sometimes.
She's still in here? Oh, I broke the wall. That's why I couldn't bounce it anymore. Oh, and they don't have... They do not have a Strange.
Time to go nuts.
Okay, I'll wait until they get on site. Nice! Okay, there we go. And then after he finishes his ult, then we'll see if I need to use mine. Or maybe will I save it for the next one? I don't know. I don't know if I'll save my ult. I've never been in this situation.
Is 3.
So they got 0%. So we just have to get on site to at least get one of those little bars, and then we win. Ooh. Let's see. Oh, my ult starts over. God damn it.
Top-notch team to win this one.
No! We're actually gonna play whatchamacallit. This is my last Rivals game, and then we're gonna head over to Valorant. I think actually Wolfina was on earlier. I'm not sure who is going to join us tonight. We might have enough to do a custom game, but I'm not too sure.
Round 4. When other
Okay, do we want a portal?
They were like,
They're gonna expect a portal.
and now they're like, ooh, a squirrel.
So let me take a look here. There
30
we
seconds
are.
before you attack. Get ready.
Hey, Master. Oh, oh yeah. So I got Rusty downstairs today. Baby came in this room, stayed in this room. Rusty went underneath my mom's bed, and the only way to get him out was with the catnip knives. And I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect. This is perfect.
Battle starts in
It's the
5,
only reason he would come out. He's like, no, this is my bed now.
1.
Came out for the catnip,
All you need to
and I'm
do
like,
is
hell
capture
yeah.
the mission area. Got it?
Are we going back? Okay.
I will complete.
I appreciate you.
Okay, one down. Wanna go for Luna? Oh, they got one. Luna down.
Our fans are gonna be so mad at me.
Okay. I'm going for invisible minute. Oh wait, that's Cloak and Dagger. Yes!
Hello, happy to
Yeah!
chip in.
So let's go! We got it. We so got it.
Final score.
Yeah, Rusty's like, I will only come out for a knife. Yay! Yay!
Epic victory. Big win.
We actually won 2 games in a row, guys. This has not happened for so long. I think streaming and playing is good luck. Okay, 23,000 damage. Okay. Got 29 for that. That's perfect. I want to get back to Diamond. I so badly do. I just want to get to an all-diamond team. I leveled up. So I can get, oh my god. So we can start banning characters. Because I want to ban Spider-Man and Storm and Iron Man and Hulk. I want to ban all the characters. Just everyone just plays a Squirrel Girl. That's it. Okay, let's see. Oh, you've been sick? Okay, well, at least you're recovered. Yeah. Wait, why is this? There we go. Gonna head over to Valorant right now. Probably get back on Rivals afterward. But yeah, I'm very happy that you're at least feeling a bit better. Like, sickness has just been going around all the time. So much sickness. So much sickness. Okay, let's go on that account. I'll join the Discord. We don't need the counters on anymore. Oh, there was a download? There was an update? Nice to know. Nice to know. And what do we have here? Oh yeah, I gotta change the game. Whoops. I forget things sometimes. Nope. Valorant, not Valor. Got it, we got it. Let's see. Valorant, there we go. For a second I couldn't find the Discord channel. And I'm like, yep, that's about right. Oops. Discord. Okay, so we can have this. Oh wait, I forgot. I forgot that we're not on Rivals anymore. Come on. Whoa. I just lagged like hell. Holy shit. Guys, I can't do anything on my Streamlab. Not my Streamlabs, my OBS. Okay. Sign out and exit. Oh, and now I can. Oh, that was weird. That was really weird. When I had Valorant up, it just would not let me touch anything on there. That was very odd. Okay, I think it's back. I think it's back. Let's try this again. And hopefully everything will be fine. I've had so many issues with OBS recently. I don't know if it was like one of the recent updates, because we did have an update, so last week or something, but it was just enough that everything is a bit off. I think they tried to fix a bunch of stuff, but in reality they just broke a bunch of things. And I can't... What? Okay, so once it loads up like this, that, and then, that's odd. Okay, I can do things now, but that is very, very weird. See, Discord's still on. Oh, we're good there, okay. Okay, we should be fine. And now is my overlay's not working. Guys, everything is going wrong. Rusty's actually, that's a good, I thought he was in his bag. I mean, not his bag, his box. Apparently he's not in his box. I think he's in his little secret hiding spot. Either that, or I have no clue where he is. Let's see, what do we have for today? Meh, nothing much. Nothing much. Still have 2 of our weekly things to go, but that's okay. So at least that's working. What was I saying that wasn't working? Oh yeah. I figured this out. I'm like so scatterbrained tonight. So scatterbrained. Can keep all of that. And we may as... Oh, I remember now. It's this. Oh, the overlay doesn't show up anymore. The overlay doesn't show up on stream. Huh. Well, that's new. That's definitely new. Definitely new. Maybe if I put the Discord source over. Steady as she goes. Oh, whatever. It's fine. You guys don't need to see it. I think it's after I use Discord as an administrator, everything's just gone horrible. Everything's gone wrong. Bum, bum, bum. I said you could join. I'm like, anyone who's like in the group can join, but if you have work the next day, I'm like, early work the next day is probably not a relaxing thing to be doing tonight. It still doesn't show up on stream. I don't get it. Oh, and now the overlay's just not showing up.
I just came here to say that you see 99, the power I have.
Deathmatch.
I can come on stream anytime I want.
Anytime that I have Discord on. Anytime that I have Discord on. I don't even know if he's gone or not. I cannot see shit. Oh. Saw that. Oh! Many people! Many people! Oh, you're still there? Okay. Shh. My face. Okay, they weren't there. They were not there. I just keep getting one. Oh! Oh my god, he scared me. Oh! Please, no! Are we still on warm-up? We are still on warm-up. And that was not the brightest move. What can I say? Ouch, my face! My face hurts! Now her face hurts.
bad guys.
Peekaboo,
How's that for a plan?
peekaboo.
Fight!
Safety's off.
No. I don't want to move. I'm in a bad spot. Is he just knifing? Is he just knifing? I think he is. Oh, I just walked into the open by accident. I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna... who's gonna win? He did not win. Yeah! Yeah, the game is definitely... I keep playing it even though it brings me great sadness. But I'm like, I've invested time and money into this game. Oh, I was looking at my screen. So therefore, I must play the game. It's just like with the battle pass, I'm like, I paid for the battle pass, therefore I must finish it. I must. Otherwise, I'll be so disappointed. Plus, oh, god damn it. I really want the knife. I just don't know if it's mathematically possible for me to finish out the battle pass. With where I'm at this moment. Ooh! Let's see, I'm hoping it's still possible. Oh, in the space thing. I'm like, no, the game has to make me be filled with rage and sadness and other negative emotions.
Gotcha.
That is what games are for. To take your joy from you. And it's what games are for. I saw that. There's someone there. That jet just appears out of nowhere and just destroys me. Oh, wow. Rage and sadness. Ouch. Oh, we looked at each other's eyes as we died. That was so cute. We're like twins. We're completely different continents. I mean, with a VPN, you can technically still play. A lot of people do that. They'll play on like EU servers for the day and everything. It's pretty common. But the ping might be pretty bad. Oh, I'm playing very bad today. Okay, yeah, I just don't like this map. We're gonna blame it on the map, y'all. Come on, come on. No idea how to set it up. I mean, what? Oh, that should have been a kill. People are around here. Oh my god, I can't. It's kind of easy to set up. It's kind of easy to set up. You just have to like find a good VPN. I like Surfshark. It's one of my favorite VPNs. Like I tried NordVPN, but they didn't have very good security, or at least not that I saw. I'm dead. Oh god. Oh god. Death is all around me. Death is all around me, y'all. And then you have the reason, like, that's why you don't want to play the game, because the game makes you want to scream and cry, and yeah. VPN should be plug and play. No, I mean, that's how Surfshark was for me. I never tried it with, oh my god. I never tried it with, like, video games. Yeah, Nord, I was not happy with. I canceled my subscription to that, like, probably the day after I got it. And I'm like, nope, refund. Thankfully. I can't. This game. Ooh, oh my god. It's like, I swear, I go around a corner, there's 3 people staring at me. And I'm like, how is this fair? Or just that. Or just that. There we go. Finally got a kill. Wow. That was my kill! It was still my kill! It's just Jet. Jet is scary. I can't. Oh yeah, the VPNs. That's why I like.
10 kills remaining.
There's a pretty good plan. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. We ball. We're being that asshole now. Yeah, I only do VPNs if they're like on. Oh, they're on sale. I can't. Guys, I can't. Yeah, maybe this will help.
996,997,900.
Maybe this will help. Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't help.
Lose the glasses.
This at least gives me an excuse. Wait. This gives me an excuse. Let's just no-scope it. Now, I want to get at least 1 kill.
5 kills remaining.
Yes! Yes! I usually get like 20, 25 kills on these, and now it's this. No, a body. Ooh, I like this song. I like this song. Oh my god, oh my god.
1 kill remaining.
Really wished I got to refund it. Oh, yeah. How are y'all second to a Marshall? Because I can't see. I'm just gonna blame it on that. Oh, let's see. Oh, did I get it? Yay! So I have the Guardian and the Whoops. Oh yeah, that's gonna be my spray today. That's just me now. Do we have Guardian? Oh yeah, we do. So now we have 2 Guardian skins. Oh, that's so cute. Let me see in chat if anyone else is going to join. I still don't get. Okay, now the overlay is working as well. I don't get it. I'm so confused. Because if no one else is gonna play, I'm gonna go back on Marvel Rivals, I think.
I'll be asked for 1 fucking game, okay? Just for you.
You wanna play Spike Rush, because that way no one cares. And it's just very nice.
No, I want to throw my elo. I want to go straight into competitive.
I'm not playing a ranked game.
Lose. Oh, okay. Yeah, Spike Rush fine, or Swift Play. Swift Play still on there?
Oh yeah.
Swift Play.
Swift Play.
Let's Swift Play.
Oh. I think I do have a cooldown on the glasses redeem. I should have it. It's not long though. It's not long at all. It's like, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes or something.
I told her to make a redeem to make me throw in my points because I have 110,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that for like 100,000 or something. 15 minutes long? Oh, I did have that? Yeah, okay, that's actually good. I like that. Actually, let me take Texas.
It's wild
off.
though. You've never been in my chat.
I've lurked.
To me. Wow.
I don't really type in chat unless I absolutely have to.
How are you still silver?
Because I haven't played any games since I got my rank.
47 just redeemed hydrate.
I got my rank and I'm like, fuck this. I'm not doing it anymore.
I peaked platinum. You have to be better than me at this point. Like,
I peaked gold too, but I just said nah afterwards. I'm like, I'm not playing any more comp. I got tired of getting yelled at for being a woman. That's happened multiple times in the past couple of comp games that I've gotten. Like, everyone's like completely fine. 2 of the females talk.
Yelled at for being a woman?
Yeah.
I'll get called the N-word like every other game.
So then don't play. That's why I just like turn off chat immediately. I turn off voice chat and text chat immediately because I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. No, I'm currently washing
as soon as I speak,
and it takes a little bit to soak.
As soon as I speak, they're like, oh, goddamn, so fat you already sound out of breath. Then they come at my neck. I don't even say nothing and they come at me.
That reminds me, I was playing a Swift Play the other day, and holy shit, I had a guy describe to me how he was going to stalk me, kidnap me, keep me in his basement, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the
Jokes
fuck?
on them. My plans are coming first. Wait, what?
But I'm like, literally, there's just this random dude is talking like this, and I'm like, okay, report like 20 times. This is like pre-planned out. It's like he had a script that he was like, hopefully it was a script and not just off the top of his head. Hopefully. Otherwise, that'd be a bit more concerning somehow.
When anybody asks about you, I'm gonna be like, I'm comfy as dead. She locked in my basement.
I'm her ghost. Wait, I'm dead and locked in your basement?
Yeah, your body.
Your party set's
Why are you locking
Yeah,
it in
we're
there?
gonna-
Why are you
I
locking
gotta-
it in there? Do you think
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know,
be a zombie? I'm gonna
it's
come back to
evident-
life?
It's Eminem lyrics, man. It's Eminem.
Evidentiary?
It's a metaphor.
Oh, metaphor. I'm like,
It's a metaphor.
evidentiary, Eminem, what are we talking about? Hello,
Eminem.
Mixie! Oh my goodness.
Eminem.
Yeah, that's like my life
You know,
now.
Bunny Rabbit,
Eminem,
Marshall
Eminem.
Mathers,
Eminem.
Anemone.
Anemones. Anemone.
Is it anemone?
Anemone.
Anemones?
Anemone. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Minxie. Thank you. We gotta play again, Minxie. I have not been on Valorant a lot, just to do my like dailies and weeklies.
Oh shit! I can fuck around with people. I've not done that in a long time.
Aw, Sage, no. I'm like, I've played too much Rivals, I'm just shooting randomly. I feel like I'm Squirrel Girl.
Spike down A.
Oh yeah, where's Spike? Oh, whoops. No! Don't kill me! Oh, I did.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
he's flank hit 52.
Last player standing.
Oh.
Guys, I'm not actually gonna kidnap her. All right, chat.
Wait, has it
I'm
been
not
5
gonna
minutes?
steal
Can I put
her.
my glasses on?
Hurry, you get
I can't read the glasses thing.
Oh,
7 minutes ago. There we go. I'm like, I can't read how many minutes it's been. Oh, we're just doing a little bit of Swift.
What do you mean, doubt? Like, why the fuck would I kidnap her? I don't need a kidnapper. She'll just say yes. Like,
I'll be like, oh, there's a kitten in the van. I'll go in the van.
yeah.
It's very easy.
In my bed.
We're just playing some
Free
Swift plays right
kittens.
now. We might do a couple of more games with
And then she's
people
going
and
to
hop back
complain
on
how she can't
Rivals.
still anyways adopt a kid.
Yeah, and I'll be like, God damn it, why don't you keep the kitten here? Like, if you kidnap the kitten, I'll come with you. This is an interesting wall.
Bro, there's a lot of cats, like, by me. Like in my area that don't have a home, so...
I have a lot of, like, lizards and stuff. In Rhode
That's
Island.
lizards here.
Ouch! He is a vandal?
Spike
No,
down A.
that's fake news.
Guys, remember this. Consent is better than no consent.
That's, yes. You got the spirit.
Drop in a smoke.
There's a specter on my body if you want it.
Where's your body?
That's a good question. Oh, by Spike. I had Spike. He has Vandal.
Player standing.
He has a Vandal. It was an ace? Of course it was an ace. He had a Vandal. The asshole. Yes, that is Raphael.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, I have my Oni. Actually, I don't want Spike. It's like, wait, I don't wanna go here. If Omen gives me Spike, I'm gonna throw it off the edge. I don't care. I'm not getting Spike anymore.
Your chat called me funny. I'm now going to think about that for the rest of my life.
The one compliment.
That one compliment. That's the best compliment. That's the compliment of the year, 2025. Shit, bro.
And 2024.
And 2024. Well, no, 2024. You called me cute, so that's the compliment of 2024.
Okay. There we go. Oh yeah, you definitely fed his ego, but it's there no matter what.
Spike down B.
Bro, with this gameplay, the only ego you're feeding is the ground. Okay, that's my grade.
They're in episode 9 diamond. Okay, that was pretty clean.
I don't know what the fuck that means. Episode 9 diamond.
Episode 9, our Reina was a diamond.
What's episode 9?
Player
What
standing.
was it?
Wait. This last episode? What episode are we? Oh my god, I don't know.
Last round in the half.
Have we not won anything yet?
Wait, we're supposed to be winning?
I mean, I thought so, but maybe not. Wait, how am I higher on the scoreboard than the diamond? Why am I silver 1? Why am I silver 1? And again, I did once get 360 no scoped by an op, and that was
Timber,
it was just like
Timber,
no.
Timber.
And I'm like, that is the gameplay now, apparently.
I got this.
Don't worry, I have another life too. Wait, I don't have spike.
Nowhere to run!
I can hear little footsteps.
The hunt begins.
On.
Player standing.
Like I never
Somebody coming.
Oh shit, oh shit. Where'd they go?
Plank. Plank.
Both
Last
sides?
player standing.
Yep. Seems like it.
Oh, I saw that.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Oh.
No.
We're fine though.
Yeah, are we?
Yeah, we are.
Oh my god, you're beautiful. God damn.
4K! Let's go!
Yes, you're my guy.
Switching sides.
See, like, I play like that every round in competitive, and I still lose. I'm like, what is this bullshit?
I don't know how to play this game anymore. Like, the guns feel different. Everything just doesn't feel like
I
it's...
swear they did change some stuff. I swear they did. Even like the sound, it's like the octave of the guns are just like a little bit different. It sounds weird. But I found whenever I play Marvel Rivals first, and then I come over here, my aim is a lot better. I get more headshots.
Look, chat, okay? Look, if you get back on the game after several months and keep losing, remember, when you play with yourself, you'll never lose.
Yeah, you
Well,
got the
for some
spirit.
people, after you finish, you feel like you lost, but...
no peeking.
Yeah, you got this, the spirit. You got it. Oh no, our diamond player's gone. I want to peek. I want to peek. I'm gonna be killed.
You have to peek.
I want to peek. Oh my god! I missed almost every shot.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
The duality there, that was beautiful. The Omen hit like a beautiful headshot and then missed every single shot. And I'm like, yes, that is what we love here. That is what we
The
love.
duality of the Valorant player.
Hydration.
I keep telling her, oh, bro, you should put one that's like shots, man.
No,
Like your
no.
alcohol of choice, and like what, like it's redeemable every like 20 minutes.
Oh god, no, I
Bruh.
get alcohol poisoning. You do realize that like all of the medication that I take makes alcohol more potent. So it's like one shot is basically equal to like 1.5 or 2 shots.
No peeking.
Love those SSRIs, SSIs.
But think of the
whatever hell they're
views, like
called.
when you're there sieging, you know, like that's good content. You can clip from that.
Oh my god.
Clickbait it. I almost died on stream. Gone
That time I
wild.
almost died. Why you shouldn't do this on stream. Oh, come on, Sage. No, no Gecko. What? He's a vandal again.
Spike planted.
No peeking.
A+. I saw that. Oh yeah, it'd be like a 2-hour cooldown. And I'd still be tipsy after it. Plus, I don't eat before stream.
Enemy remaining.
So it's like I have no food in me either.
Going up.
Last player standing. Clutch.
I gotta get in front of you, Omen.
It's okay, GG.
Oh dear.
I love you, Omen. Mwah.
See, look at that. Plays are still fun. It's just when people get, like, you know, too crazy about it. That's when it gets scary.
Nah, that's it. I'm going crazy about it. Let's go.
We just keep going at it. It's fine, everything will be okay. I want my battle pass. I want my Celestia operator.
Can you buy me the battle pass?
No, because you can, like, barely finish it now. I'm at 8 out of 10, but I don't know if I'm gonna finish it in time. I'm so worried. I spent $10 on that. I deserve my entire battle pass.
Can you buy me dinner?
1 slice of cheese and some ramen. That's dinner. They don't allow people to have a drink.
Alcohol.
Wait, they don't have
They
a drink
don't?
alcohol? What? I know you can't get smashed. You can't like pass out drunk. I know a lot of people do like drinking streams and stuff. I've done not complete drinking streams, but as long as you don't like pass out, basically you're good. I did not know about the redeems. Good thing I don't have it
We're gonna
then.
have drinking night again. We had a drinking night before, guys.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
really funny.
I wouldn't stream that.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't stream that either.
No. Our color by numbers night. It's like people think, you know, oh, you're gonna get drunk and like play comp or whatever. Like, no, color by numbers. That was fun.
Color by numbers.
Do you remember that?
Miss, I don't remember a lot.
Yeah, we played a lot of color by numbers.
Oh, wasn't I doing it like by myself like a lot of the time?
Yeah, you just kept going on it, and we're over here talking and stuff, and you're like, why am I the only one doing this? And we're like, I don't know,
You guys are
bro.
assholes.
I put like 1 color on there. It's like my job's done.
You guys are fucking assholes, bro. Just ditch me. They leave me behind all the time.
You were really focused on it. We're like, yeah, you go, dude. You do you. You do you. Oh, people are getting wasted because the redeems alone? Probably, because yeah, that's kind of like an iffy idea anyways, where it's like, do you really want people to control your alcohol intake? It's not the best idea. But I guess you could do it where it's like, if something happens, you drink, you know? You can still do that on stream, I know. Like, every time you scream, you have to drink. I would be shit-faced. I'm like...
But look, chat. They can't prove you're an alcoholic if you don't have a drink in your hand at the moment, okay?
Exactly. Or you can just put vodka in a water bottle. This is water, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, the gang's all here. This is great. They don't stand
It works out either way. It's fine. Actually, I don't want this. That's gonna have it. I also so badly want my new knife. I want anything other than the Cleaver hot dog maker. You laugh, you lose challenge. I'm actually pretty good at those.
I like
I'm
to play
pretty
the
good at
more
those.
risky one. You laugh, you said nudes. Samantha, make me laugh and I'll send you nudes.
Okay, we cannot laugh at all. We cannot laugh at all, guys.
I
We
said
cannot
you
laugh
had
at
to
all.
make me laugh. Tell me a
Okay.
joke.
There once was a child. The child came into a bar.
I'm sending it right now.
I feel
dropping smokes.
so much util, scared, very scared. Ooh, pretty gun. Ooh, Sentinel's gun. I don't trust this. I don't trust this at all.
Down.
Never mind. I
Spike
should. Oh, I
down
didn't trust
A.
it. No, bitch. Good luck, guys. Good luck, guys.
Riz.
Oh, I thought Cypher was doing a funny thing. He's actually like playing the game. Maybe he's not. Never mind.
30 seconds left.
Drop in a smoke.
Yeah, Sage was up top.
Reload.
Careful now.
10 seconds left.
Oh, the
Last
fire.
player
Oh my
standing.
god.
Spike down A.
Yes, go queen! Oh. Oh, oh.
Cypher, just tell me where they are. I'll do the rest.
Should try Ares. I don't really like Ares though. It's too loud. It's too loud. Ooh, stretch.
Wait, why can't my Microsoft Paint be open?
996,900,000.
I can't open my Microsoft Paint. No.
Is it because Valorant's up and running and Valorant doesn't like you multitasking? Valorant's like, no, you cannot.
Dropping smokes.
Oh. 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 I know you're there.
My eyes are down.
60 on Clove.
Spike down B. Last player standing.
And you see last game compared to this game. Last game it's like, oh yeah, 4K and everything. This game it's like, nah. We're not even gonna do anything. Oh my god, my little moon scout. It's adorable.
Okay. There you go, Miss. I have sent it to you.
Oh god. Oh god.
I hope you enjoy it.
The hunt begins.
I don't trust this. Where's your spike? Oh wait, they're doing it. It's okay. Guys, I can't.
Drop in a smoke.
Okay, let's see, let's see. Misspelling of nudes.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, he's on A. You guys are fine.
No peeking.
Planted the spike. My ultimate is ready.
Actually, wait, what is this song?
Where is everyone hiding?
There we go. Wait, I smoked the wrong place. Oh wait, no, that's her smoke. That's not my smoke. If you had died there, if you had died there,
Oh, I didn't think it's a
I would have
knife.
laughed so hard.
Last round before the switch.
And spend all the money. Look cold either way.
Are you? Yo.
It's gone. God is gone.
For you. Need a drop.
Aww.
Yeah.
They have a gun? Oh, they do. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can see nothing.
Jesus Christ!
I know.
How the fucking you two?
Every single time. I'm going out mini door. Oops. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope.
What does that do?
It kills you instantly.
Oh, okay.
Drop in a smoke.
I'm like, I got no clue where we're going. I'm just like running around. Your footsteps. Oh, I should not have gotten that kill.
30 seconds left.
Two of them are on that on B.
Last player standing.
No.
Oh, can I reach? No, I can't reach. I cannot kill this clove. She has killed me, I think, every single time. I'm just incapable of killing my double.
Switching
I'm like,
sides.
no, we're best friends.
I can't kill nobody.
You have 3 kills. You're top frag with 3 kills.
I don't feel like the top frag.
I don't think any of us feel like it's possible to be a top frag.
Hey, miss.
I finally got that sage, and I swear to God, my crosshair was nowhere near her. Nowhere near her.
Yeah, she just admitted to being a bottom. New Samantha lore just dropped.
The entire team, I said. The other team, they're full of tops.
Sure. It's projection. Jesus Christ, I'm only getting 400 frames.
Only 400? We have like the tiniest bit of snow. Like, it's so sad. It rained right after it snowed, but we're supposed to get like 7 inches this Sunday. Well, they say 7 inches, so realistically it's gonna be like 1 inch, but still.
I suck.
Are you trying to knife this?
Spike down A. 1 enemy remaining.
That's in satellite.
Oh my god, I can't.
Wait, did the cats get to touch snow?
Well, baby's okay with snow. Rusty, it kind of freaks him out a little bit.
Did you record cat touching snow?
I recorded Rusty getting an ice cube for the first time, but he hasn't gone outside. It's too cold for him. He's too, like, small and adorable for that.
Last player standing.
Oh my god, the door was a fake?
30 seconds left.
Ooh! Our Cypher's better!
My city needs me. I can't be away for long. It's impressive.
Let's see. Maybe it's a bulldog day. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Oh, good night, E-Master. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a nice, relaxing rest of your evening. Yeah.
Alright.
Let's see. Yeah, Cypher and I are gonna go this way.
Drop in a smoke.
No, I missed all my shots.
Don't worry, Cypher and I are doing the longest flank in existence.
Spike planted.
And they walled us. Fuck it, we ball!
Last player standing.
Gotcha, cunt! My turn!
There's a wall there,
I'm
Cypher.
coming for that ass.
Then again, I can't really say anything.
Yeah, so came in.
Match point.
Deep breaths, everyone.
Okay, food is gonna join us. I don't know when.
Who?
Stoner.
What the fuck is that?
What are his other names? No, Buddha, Stoner.
Boner?
No, Buddha, Stoner.
I don't think I've ever met them.
Yeah, you have.
I will find
The hunt begins.
Surely they'll go B this time. Surely. They won't be. They won't be.
They
got
did go
scared.
B, but don't call me Shirley.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Ah!
You will not kill my ally! Enemy spotted me.
Oh! Oh my God! What was that?
I don't know. It usually works. They probably don't know that. She didn't see that, right?
What?
didn't see
Stream
that,
saw
right?
that. Yes,
Last
yes, Stream did see
player
that.
standing.
Stream,
Spike
don't say
planted.
anything, okay? Chat, can you guys hype me up, actually? Can you say that Raphael's like the best? That Rafi's the best, you know?
I think they've learned that your ego.
That Rafi's sexy. That Rafi's beautiful. You know? Like, I just need some self-confidence here, chat. Come on.
I must wait a moment.
Oh? Wait, did they just go to 8 bullets somehow? Never mind. I'm blind.
Attackers win.
I saw that one. I saw that. I saw the death.
Bro, I
Everyone's
stayed at
saying
3 rounds
GG.
that 3 fucking kills the entire time.
Now you see how Valorant has been recently. This has been like every game.
Can we switch games? Can we play Lego Minecraft?
Lego Minecraft?
I don't fucking know.
I'm like, a Lego Minecraft? That doesn't make sense. It's the same thing over and over. Trying to see, yeah, it said it would join, but I'm like...
Do you like my nudes, miss?
I mean, it's not centered in the photo. There's a lot of, like, blank white space around there and stuff. I don't know. Photography needs to be better. And just writing it in the corner.
Alright, okay. I didn't need all this. Your nudes aren't good enough, Ralphie. Like
You asked me for my opinion.
I just wanted to know what did you think about the size? You know, I think like
It's kind of
pretty
small and wedged in a corner.
small. Okay, small. That's at most. That's
The font
average
could be
at
bigger.
least.
The font could be bigger.
It's average at least, okay? That is nowhere. If that's small, all right, Miss Deep Dish. Like, goddamn.
You used like a size 3. Size 3 font.
Size, bro. That's at least large, okay? Like.
996
The font is the size of a follicle of hair.
Match found.
Guys.
Just
I wish I could
speechless,
show you
speechless.
chat, but that's at least, at the very least, that's average, if not like very above average. Like,
Sure,
I don't think
sure.
you've ever received nudes like that before.
They're definitely original. Definitely original.
Wow. Okay.
That's a compliment. That could be a compliment. It can be.
If you could do better, if you think you could do better, no.
Well, I can't bring up
Do
my
it.
paint app while I'm on Valorant.
What you know what I'm hearing? That's just excuses. You know that mine's
I'll
is
be okay
great.
with
It's
that
beautiful.
excuse, yeah.
I have some of the best in the world. Okay. Everyone's dying to see them.
Oh yeah, that helps your case. That definitely helps your case.
You know, I showed some of your friends that, and like, they're like, damn, like that's some good fucking art
which
right
friends?
there.
Which friends? Which friends?
They signed. I signed an NDA.
Oh, of course, of course, of course.
Yeah. Non-disclosure, you know.
Of course, of course. Whoa, why is that?
Cut by bees.
Oh, there. Well, there it is. We got it. We got it.
Chad, Samantha's like really fucking mean to me for no reason, man. God damn.
I'll take one for the team, guys. I'll take one for the team. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Omen, I have the information you asked for. My price. Price hasn't been paid.
Let's see. I just realized I have no clue why I chose Breach. Absolutely no clue. I just thought, why not?
Did they switch to E and the Q? No, that's always been cool. Oh,
What?
no.
Oh, you're on Phoenix?
Something's been switched.
Yeah, they switched it so your flash is a different one because it's E, so it's now the rechargeable one. It's your signature ability instead of the Q being a signature. I just switched it back.
On my mark.
Move, bitch, move!
Spike down, B.
I love that crosshair. Jet body blocked me. They were all in a B alley thingy place.
Someone is B.
Going up.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
What is that? Eppins? Seriously? I don't understand their name. Name's interesting.
Eppins.
Eppins. It's Anemone again. It's Anemone.
Mysterious Snipe is what their name is. Or Snipe Mysterious? I don't know. Mysterious Snipe. is what I'm getting.
Seppen. Mirrors.
Mysterious. Read it backwards.
Oh. Mysterious Snipe? A snipe like the bird snipe? Can I get all the way over there? I can! Raise is low. Never mind, she's at 60. She got rebounded! Yeah, Raise is tree.
Someone is A. On my way.
Oh, they have a Vandal? Why is everyone diamond?
One enemy remaining. Spike down A. Last player standing.
98. Damn.
And with a Spectre. Spectre.
Bridge. I took a servo from your arms. My tripwire. Don't be angry.
ADS. Wait, ADS hold. Oh, what the fuck did I just do here?
What the fuck are you doing?
It just went to like screen. That was weird. That was weird. My computer is being weird. It's like there's all of a sudden a bunch of these keybinds that just magically appeared.
You have a projector too?
No. Why?
So is that just the lights I got you?
Oh, there's two. One is a one is the light, and the other one is the what's it called? I guess you could call it a projector. I don't know. It's not really a projector, but it is like two things together. Oh, that was smooth.
Spike down.
That was
mid.
smooth as hell. I'm so proud of that shot. That was not as smooth.
Enemy spotted
I keep
One
forgetting that
enemy
I have
remaining.
a flash. Keep forgetting that. Can't hear with a footstep.
Spike
Oh,
planted.
there we go.
Someone's beat.
Last player.
Oh, so ass! I know I'm in operation on my body.
My ult's ready.
Operator.
Operate. Yeah.
Run! Where's your body?
Last round in the half.
No
Pretty.
point saving. Spend it all.
Pretty.
I need a drop.
Thank you.
Yay! You're welcome. Oh, and my ult. Wait, I have an incoming call.
Who's calling you?
Team Anime. We might be playing some Marbles ranked.
Oh shit. Good luck, my guy.
We win as Team Anime.
They're fully rushing.
Nah. Nah, don't worry, I got my ult. They're not getting on site.
Oh my god.
Oh. Did they get Omen?
Spike planted.
Oh my god. That was the worst thing ever.
Last player
No!
standing.
No!
Where is everyone hiding?
Good talk.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I thought I was gonna shoot them through a wall.
Clutch.
You forget. I always play high stakes.
Switching sides.
See an insect, you crush it.
Omen gay. Haven't you people ever heard of? Yes, okay. So yeah, after this game, I'm gonna go back over to Rivals and switch over to my other account.
We're all women here, technically, so.
I love the echo as well. It's wonderful.
Sorry.
No, I love it. Makes it all dramatic. They know combos! I knew it.
Player standing.
I knew it.
Going up. Watch your eyes.
No!
Oh!
Strange. Trump signed an executive order, so we're all women. You're welcome.
What do I want? What do I want? What do I want with my life? Try an Aries.
Hello, person.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, it's Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
What's up, Beskies?
How's Nom?
Oh, it was great and all. Time to go back to work.
Welcome back to the States. Unfortunately.
Welcome back to life as we know it.
Anyway, I just did a full body workout and I'm fucking sore. I don't even want to go home. I'm like parked in the parking lot.
Just like it's nap time. Just like take a nap.
I gotta get my sweaty ass home, take a shower. Bitch. I'm so.
Oh my god, take him down.
You said we're gonna have a watch party of you being in the shower? What?
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 Well, welcome to my world.
Boy, what the hell, boy?
You like your world, okay? Fuck you.
Yelling at me. You like your world.
You're gonna like this. You're gonna enjoy this.
Oh, Tejo's one, by the way. He's like mostly one.
Last player standing.
He's basically one. He's one. He's one. There we go. There we go.
Wowzers. Wowzers.
So it turns out the Ares is still not my gun. Knife only next round?
The Ares hasn't been good since like fucking.
Well, they just buffed it.
The
so
game
I thought
came
it'd
out.
be good. But it's not good. It sucks.
The Ares used to be so fucking good, man.
They tried
Just
to
like the
buff it
classic.
again.
The classic was fucking beautiful at one point. One of the best guns.
Classic's still okay.
Are you talking about Valor?
Yeah, I'm about to head over to Rivals.
She's making me play Valorant because she hates me.
I'm blind. Oh, fuck. I'm dead. Nope, I'm okay. By the way, you're gonna... Okay. Did you survive that?
Die?
Oh, I'm gonna die. There we go. I got spike on
Spike
site.
down A.
Ooh. Pretty. You know what? I'm gonna copy this crosshair. Omen, you do not have spike. Oh, never mind. Good play, good play.
Last player standing.
No! I was gonna throw my flame, but she wasn't even there. There was nobody there either way.
Match point.
You want me serious? You got it.
Vandals with me, Jet.
Oh, Jet's sad now. You stole Jet's gun.
Let's fly.
This gun is ass.
Which one is it? Which one?
It's so funny. I mean, it's staring at
How
me.
did we both miss that? Two of us stood there and we both missed. Oh my god, okay. No! Let me out! got one. Oh, okay, I got my one. I'm fine. What is Omen?
Everybody.
Where is everyone hiding?
Careful now.
Go ahead. Stand your ground.
Oh no, Cypher.
One
enemy remaining.
Nice.
Right.
We're gonna get this win. We're gonna win one of our games.
Sudden death.
They're usually distracted once I reveal them. Make sure to take advantage.
After this game, I'm going to retire my Valorant career.
I've already retired my comp Valorant career.
Bye, Cindy. Have a wonderful night.
Oh, she left.
Yeah.
I still snipe Mysterious. That is like freaking me out, and I keep getting killed by him, so his little name tag keeps popping up, and I'm like, I don't know what his name is. It's confusing me.
Jack, can you revive me?
Oh, your body's like double dead now. Oh, it's just your foot.
Welcome to my world.
For it.
Spike down A.
Let this breaks faster. Really? No one else is here? Wah.
Bro, you on the spike or in different
Last
area
player
codes.
standing.
I know. Everyone just left, and I'm like, no, we can push this. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. Both were on spike. Oh. Ouchies! Ouchies! They shot me in the face.
You guys are gonna go play Marvel Rivals. Playing some comp. Good luck on your comp games.
Thank you. I'm gonna play on my other account so I won't be full of rage. I'll actually enjoy
I'm not
the game.
gonna lie. Like, it's just really dependent on the teammates I have. The game feels super fucking easy.
Oh.
Like, it takes somewhat no
you-
skill to fucking play.
Well, what rank are you in right now?
I'm in, like, I think I'm in gold? No, what's out there? Silver.
Silver and then gold, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm
Once-
in gold.
Plat players it's horrible. You can either get a really, really good team and it's the easiest game you'll ever play, or your teammates have such big egos that they refuse to switch. And so it's like, okay, can someone focus the storm? And no one focuses the storm. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm Cloak and Dagger. I have the auto whatchamacallit. So I'm like, okay, no one else gonna kill Storm. She keeps killing me. I'm gonna kill her. And then I get yelled at. They're like, why were you looking in the sky? You're supposed to be healing us. I'm like, I'm basically dead all the time. What do you want me to do? And they're like, you shouldn't have done that. That's like a genuine experience that I've had. And I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do? It's crazy.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
That's
it's
like
just
every
the
game. That's
The
like
game
every
seems
game.
super easy. The only hard part is like the teammates. If you don't have good healers, game over. If you don't have good DPS, game over.
If
Like
you
the
don't have-
tanks is somewhat optional.
No. Not if you're trying to push. If they
Well,
have
I'm
tanks and you
always
don't.
a tank, so
Oh.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, if you don't have tanks, then it is extremely hard. It's like I keep seeing the 3 DPS, 3 healers, and I'm like, no. You need at least one tank just to take that extra damage. Or someone like Mr. Fantastic, who at least is tank-ish.
I
You
think
need
the
someone.
2-2-2 works well.
Yeah,
Two
I like
tanks.
that. Sometimes on push, you'll like having like 3 healers, 2 tanks, 1 DPS, but That's mainly just so you can like push through everything and ignore everyone else. Oh,
Maybe I'm just a godly Thor and I don't know it.
Having a Thor player that actually knows how to play is really, really good. So many Thors I've seen, they hit their ult, they do not get one person in their ult the entire game, and they get their ult like, I don't know, I think 6 times.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
that name's horrible. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I reported him. That's why I reported him.
You're
And
doing
he has
your
been
part.
restricted. I'm doing my little own part. The new... I love this. I might have to get this on my main account. I just need to get,
I should play Cloak and Dagger.
I play, like, a lot. I play Cloak and Dagger, Squirrel Girl, Moon Knight, Luna, little bit of Mantis. Not as much anymore. Penny. I only play Penny as tank.
I just want to know how you ranked up so fast. God damn.
I just play, like, about 8 to 10 games a day. And even if I lose about 40% of them, I still rank up.
Yeah, shit. I can't play that much.
Well, they're only... Some of the games... the longest game I've ever had has been, like, a triple overtime, and it only went on 20 minutes. So most of my games are 6 to 10 minutes, so you can play that many games in, like, 2 hours or so, and then you're fine. I mean, yeah, 6 to 10 minutes, yeah. And that's all my games.
After a few games, I'm just done with it. I wanna play games that are more fun and not competitive. I'm tired of competitiveness.
Competitive, yeah, can be.
That's why you wanna punch the wall.
Yeah, that's why whenever I play competitive, I'm like, it's the first time in my life that I've ever felt that, where I wanted to actually punch a wall.
Damn. Well, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna stop keeping you from your friends. Have fun. I wish you the best.
Thank you. Bye. There we go. Let's see. I'm gonna switch over to Team Anime. See.
We could get a Vandom or.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Dude, that was on a quick match too. That wasn't even a comp.
Yeah, that was a quick match.
How long did it take for
some
that?
people just get so heated, bro.
People get over the top. It's just a game.
Bro.
It's just a game. Calm down, everybody.
Especially
people
for
in
quick
Squid Game
match.
be like,
It's because they're jealous of how American I am.
Yeah, they're jealous of all the Americans.
Oh my god.
no one fucking heard me. No one heard me.
996,997,991
Oh, I'm so sorry. What'd you say?
991 just redeemed hydrate.
Said,
I'm
it's
the
just
truth.
a game, it's just a game, and I said people in Squid Game be like, I've played these games before! Alright. Let's get to it!
Are we getting a group of 6, or are we gonna play just quick match?
I don't know anyone else.
Yeah, I don't know people, period, so.
I have 2 friends.
Hey, let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go!
Wait, no, I have 3 friends and one of them's in my room.
Oh,
Your
one of
dog?
them's in my bed.
I ain't counting pin you, fuck pin you.
Yo!
Oh, what? What did I come back
Top
for?
team to win this one.
I just came back and that's the first thing I heard.
Yeah.
Eat nuts and
Shame on you, Woodland.
Hey, she would say the same thing if she could speak English.
Just like
She would never.
She
She
would.
would never.
Don't even lie to me. Don't even. How many times did she hit me just to hit me?
Fine. Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
But she would never. She's too good of a child.
No,
You would say that you got her a Captain America toy.
It was $1, like 25.
Not always in
I was at the dollar store.
You still thought of the dog.
I had to make them American.
before you attack. Get
They have to
ready.
be on your team. They have to be on the America's team. On Cap's
Yeah.
team.
He's trying to make my Italian dog American.
Gun.
Yeah, what?
Did I?
He's
Yeah, I
Italian.
am.
Stutter? Did I stutter?
I am.
He's not Italian.
Your
No,
dog was
he's
fucking
Spanish.
American. I don't care if they don't want to be.
Starts in 5,
They're legally going to be American.
3,
They're just
Legally
they're just American.
Don't immediately leave the door, especially if you're a healer.
I'm gonna immediately leave the door.
Oh, she ran. Poor bitch.
It's mustard! It's mustard!
Mustard Man! Is that Wolverine?
friends.
Oh, it's Captain. What? Why is he yellow?
It's mustard.
I can't get. I never understand. I think it's Wolverine, and I'm like, wait, he has a shield. What?
But yeah,
He has a shield.
in some comics, he's yellow. Yeah, and there's a comic where he's yellow.
Oh, heals.
Oh,
The mustard killed me. The mustard killed me.
Okay, I just died. Oh, I died to the healer too. That's fun.
According to Dr. Richards,
Where's that cat? Where did you run to?
He's behind us. There he is.
I am pushing them, so
Get him! Get him! Get him! Go, go, go.
Where did you go? Where's
I
that?
don't know.
I'm ready to put on a show.
I got one healer.
I'm sorry. I gotta find this cat. We're having a cat off.
Yes, the mustard guy keeps going after me.
oh,
Hey,
I
the mustard, get the mustard, get
I
the
didn't
mustard.
having a cap off.
Where is he going? Because I can't find him.
Well, they also have 3 healers. Oh.
That's interesting.
Oh, I was in there. Oh, me and Elijah are in there, bro. I turned around and
just won.
me. Elijah, we're in there.
I died, sadly.
I'm like, damn, I'm really far in here. I turned around and
America is going after me.
Get Mustard Man, please.
Mustard. We don't call him America. He is mustard.
Mustard? Okay, well, mustard
the
is
mustard
going
man.
after me. So is this cloak and dagger? I feel so attacked right now.
As you should.
I'm gonna
I feel so attacked.
his ass. They have one healer down, everybody, and I'm back.
Guys are about to
Thank you, Zoe for the, thank you, thank you.
Yep, I'm doing my best because I'm getting murdered. Oh,
I'm very low.
2 of their healers are down.
You
Go,
can
go,
catch
go.
me if you know.
Let me have him.
2 of their healers are down.
Bitch. Thank you.
I got you. Yo, Cap, it's time for a duel.
I jumped for the bubble. It
No!
did not work.
Howard Scarlet!
Is that our
Not
America?
Scarlet.
That is
No,
not
that's not
Oh,
me.
it's mustard.
I made
Mustard Man, get Mustard Man, please. Why is
No,
he still
this is
alive?
cool.
I've brought him down to like 1 HP so many times, but he just refuses.
And he's just still standing. I'm still standing. Yeah.
Is there more of an American move, though?
Not really, yeah. What? Well, yeah.
Besides taking all
that
the
was a bad one.
resources?
Never mind.
Besides taking all of their resources. Mustard, man! This man, I can't. No more mustard.
Oh my goodness.
I'm never eating mustard again.
Ooh, I am fucking cooking.
I hate mustard anyways.
You needed it.
Get out of here, mustard. You don't touch my fucking healer. Get him, Elijah. Get him, Elijah.
No, somebody took the kill!
I took it, I'm sorry. I bounced it off of something. I don't know what I bounced it off of.
Can I look at the scoreboard?
1 healer down.
Am I doing good? Am I positive, Elijah?
Yeah.
That's very convincing.
How much, though? I won't
Very
tell you how much.
convincing. Extremely convincing.
No,
Wow.
don't say that. Am I not? Are you lying to me, Elijah?
I'm playing Captain Max, that's all I got to say to you.
No, you do lie.
So you do love. He does.
Elijah, I got you.
Love battlefield medicine.
God, the instant. It's
Oh,
on
they're
site.
invisible.
The
Fighting
second.
animals. You're so far in there.
Go guys, go!
Oh, he's so
you got
low.
it!
Get mustard!
Oh, you just died. Did you respawn? Yes!
Yes, right as I fucking ulted.
Time to drain.
Yeah, that happens a lot. They like to do that.
Let's go!
You got him?
Yeah, I can die happy now.
Oh
Actually,
my
no,
God,
he got me
he
once.
died twice.
He got me once,
I'm
so I
getting,
gotta put him back.
look at the scoreboard. Fuck. I better not start doing bad.
Oh
There we
no.
go. I solo ulted. I solo ulted that dude, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll take it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm like, I don't care. I want this kill.
Kill is a kill.
I want the
That was
kill.
that was
Bro, did I just call someone my son?
Your son?
Maybe I didn't hear that right. I swear to God, I just called someone my son.
What?
Oh, I thought I fell off the map. Whoops.
I guess.
I don't know. I thought it was like, be quiet, my son. Maybe I did not hear that right.
Back again?
Yeah, I don't think Moon Knight would say anyone's son.
I
so-
know.
No,
I'm like, what?
Don't you remember Magneto adopted Moon Knight? It was a very dramatic scene.
Wait, no. You mean Moon Knight adopted Magneto? Because he said someone's son is
Oh.
his.
Yeah.
That somehow works in the
Opposite there.
multiverse.
That would be probably not work
That's
out.
my favorite scene in the entirety of the MCU. Right next to when Bruce said, "I'm bannering out."
Oh yes.
Yep.
This is true.
I remember that one. And when Captain America said, "Russia!"
She said, "Hail communism."
We love communism in this place.
Oh, Psylocke's one. Psylocke, it's like
It's not. Hey, it's like that. It's like that old Minecraft server that I ruled a while ago. It's not communist unless I say so.
Okay.
Oh, ouchies, ouchies.
That was my motto, and I stuck to it.
You ran a communist server?
No,
she
it's
didn't
not
run
communism.
Had a motion on the server that was communist. Yeah, no, it's not communist. Because it wasn't.
Oops. Okay, so it wasn't.
This was Khonshu's will.
You ran a non-communist server.
Yo, let's go.
I had
Let's
a
go.
country on the server, and it was not communist. It was called Venya.
Venya?
Yeah.
I am ready to put on
Oh,
a
that was
show.
mean. I was gonna use my ult.
Oh my god, what is happening? Guys, oh.
No, you were near it, and it's like,
Well,
what?
he emoted and I danced.
Lovely. Please pick me up. Thank you.
Thank you.
In there.
I ruined that ult.
The bitches. Oh, we're in there, Elijah.
Wait,
we are
I need.
in
Do we have a healer?
Just no.
Thank you.
Why does everybody be scared of communication? They see me
We gotta
clearly trying
communicate,
to-
guys. We're all here, right? We're all
They
here
see
to
me-
communicate.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're all here.
We're all here to communicate. We're all attacking people. Oh, and there's a
I'm getting after these damn healers like there's no tomorrow.
Opin, I keep hearing your sword and it freaks me out because I'm used to being like dived in magic and I'm like, what's going on? I'm gonna die.
Am I in the positive? I get to look at the scoreboard wrong, right?
Yeah, you took.
Huge. I'm really good at close-up characters. That's why I'm good at Bucky. I like characters where I can look at people and immediately see them. You know, I like
them in the
staring at
eye.
people in people's eyes. Yeah.
It's really weird seeing you as Majik.
Thank you. I like to think of myself as quite the Majik.
Quite the Majik.
I'll what you call it. Black Panther.
Black Panther?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I raise my proficiency.
Proficiency?
Do that?
Okay. At least I didn't pin you upside the head this time.
Oh, I did. Let's go. Finally. Captain to
What?
captain.
Oh, you can never go further than that then. You have to always be captain.
No, but imagine Lord. Wow. That
Lord
would be...
Captain America.
Lord Captain
Lord
America.
America.
I think
Lord
like the name.
America.
the government is trying to go away from. Well, not really.
I like the name
No,
of
that's
Lord
exactly
America.
what they're going for.
Let's keep going.
If they ever add a
Oh
hyphen
yeah, wait.
after
Why
them-
am I?
If you
You know,
want me to be leader, I don't mind.
I don't like this. So.
No.
Guys,
Leader.
you gave me so much power.
You're Captain America.
Unlimited
You're meant
power.
to be the leader.
Power.
You're meant to be the leader.
America is
you,
always the leader.
Real.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
Okay.
Hail Russia.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
I
better
didn't know we were
stay,
playing
guys.
Putin.
I didn't know there was a communist in here.
Of course, Captain America.
Of course,
Yo.
Captain America's a communist.
My favorite scene in all of the
Your
MCU.
hero. Or villain.
It's literally just Captain Hydra.
The cloudless night, just like the moon.
No? Alright,
Oh
no one
my
knows who that
God.
is.
No, I know. I'm a nerd too.
I thought you would get it and then you said
I even
nothing.
know. I even know how he. It's because I was coughing.
Oh, okay, my bad. Bless
I
you.
even know how he picked up Mjolnir because they changed the inscription because what you call it, the stone, the magical square.
He's very invested in this.
Yes, he's trying to prove himself and it's working.
But they changed it so instead of he who is worthy, it's he who is strongest. That's why he could pick it up.
Okay, so I have a question.
He knows it.
What is the magical square?
Get ready.
It was so.
Healer. Nammer.
To be fair, it could also rip the time
What?
stream to shit.
Well,
It's
he's not going healer.
I have faith in you.
it's a magical square.
I hope you do.
It's. I believe it might be the Tesseract. I'm not sure,
No,
but I don't.
it's not called the Tesseract. It's called like the
Magic?
mystical cube or something. The something cube.
Cube
It's
of
called
Doom?
something
Do is
cube.
capture the mission area.
Yeah.
No, something
don't
cube.
know.
It's like
Cube
it's
magic?
like no.
Base game in every
It's
single
like mystical
mod?
cube or
I
something
think
like
so.
that.
The only thing is, I have to actually get a whatchamacallit, holy shit. I had to get one of the, a paid subscription to download all the mods, because there were so many mods.
What?
On what? Wait, what? What are you on about?
Oh, I forgot that doesn't, mute me, sorry. I'm talking about my Skyrim mods.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
I was holding my mute key, and I'm like, I think they can't hear me.
No,
No, holding your mute key doesn't mute you. That's for that's the loud key.
No, I have to use, for Discord, I have to use it as, administrator if it works. If I use it as administrator, everything works, but I'm dead.
Oh crap, everybody's dead.
I'm alive.
The moon haunts you! I didn't get anyone, but it haunts them.
Oh, Hella. I didn't know Hella was ulted. Shit. Everyone ulted at the same time. I couldn't hear.
Wake up in the crazy house.
I couldn't hear.
I know. And comp, I get yelled at, they're like, how did you know that wasn't our ult? And I'm like, three different people screamed at the same time, bro. How does anyone know what's happening?
Is it pot?
Yeah. I think he just has his mic on.
Does he?
Because, like...
I feel like I've been talking to someone I don't know.
Mystical artifact of some sort.
That onk's not mine!
Sorry. The
No!
moon!
No!
That's not you. It's you.
That's not me.
Are you in here, Citrus?
Citrus is
No,
dead.
they walled me off and killed me.
Citrus died.
No, Citrus!
I gotta protect my healers. I'm failing.
Ouchie, help me.
Sorry.
Oh god, they tried to wall me,
I'm going for their Loki.
I am about to die. Oh crap.
I didn't die.
We all died. That's
I
okay.
really want to click tab. I really want to click tab. Elijah, get their asses.
Did I?
This hell
Don't
is
click tab, don't click tab, you're good.
I really want to click it.
This Moon Knight and I are facing off. It's the bad Moon Knight.
Listen, it's not your death to kill ratio isn't correct. It's the damage to damage block ratio.
No, but am I positive or negative? There's no
Don't worry about it.
We're gonna go point.
I was just
I
really
think
focused on that
did
Moon
I
Knight.
play a good distraction?
Yes, very good. Good job, buddy.
I did my... Oh my god! No, I hopped right into that.
I jumped out of it.
Got him!
Yeah,
Don't worry! Don't worry, I got you! I got you
Oh, I don't
guys!
like that.
Oh god, I got stuck on a wall.
I caught one with them. I caught one still.
I'm hiding from her. I'm hiding.
Don't worry, Woodland. I'm in the
Oh, went on top of his wall! Shit! It went on his wall!
I'm gonna click tab.
No, they...
It didn't recharge. Oh, there we go.
No, I stole their health back. I stole their health back.
Eli, no!
I got this. I got this. I got this. I'll America this. I'll America this.
Please don't die. Captain Law, you are my
Everyone,
favorite.
just make sure to stay on point so that overtime, yeah.
I died, but I America.
You don't really. Revive, no?
Yeah, I am alive.
Okay. That's all that matters.
Okay, is that ours? That is not ours. Oh, that is? Okay.
It's yours, it's yours.
There's no other Bucky.
I'm like, I just hear again, and I just like scream.
Get that fish in the ground.
Got you. Okay, I have 1 HP. I have 1 HP. Do we have a healer? That's my trick.
Am I positive now?
I'm on my way. I'm on
Do we have a healer? No, healers are all dead.
There we go. I got help back.
Now.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Oh my god, that was stupid. That was very stupid of me.
Captain Law, I cannot.
God, I was being rash. I couldn't imagine my captain. Because I saw one Loki. They baited me.
Oh, the Moonhawk's them or the Moonhawk's us?
The Moonhawk's us.
Oh.
Almost them.
Oh, citrus. Oh, citrus.
I'm kind of stuck here. I'm so close to my ult. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, they Jeff.
So
they Jeff.
close to my ult.
Citrus. Oh, citrus.
Keep it. Oh, it's alright. We did good. We did good.
I'm gonna click tab now.
The other one used
I'm
theirs
fucking
too.
negative. I'm fucking negative.
What's your damage to your damage blocked?
That doesn't fucking matter.
It does matter. It does matter. It does matter.
It doesn't.
How much are you supposed to block? Like,
I don't fucking know.
Is it supposed to be a third or something?
On average, I have no idea.
Is mine is 8600 to 2600. I don't know. It's positive, so I mean that seems okay. I don't know what numbers are supposed to be. I never look at that.
I got 4,300 and 4,200.
You're good. You're fine.
Yeah, so you broke even.
No,
you broke even.
I know, but look at my death algorithm.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're doing damage to them. Do your damage, and somebody else will finish them off and help you out. Come on.
Elijah.
I'll give you infinite ammo.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to... Okay, Moon Knight, I get it. There's a god living in your head. Please, shut up. Stop, you're gonna make
the moon is gonna haunt them soon.
The moon haunts you.
Oh, my little head's peeking up.
Here they come. Time to drain. Alright, that feels better.
That Tella is so good. Okay.
Yes, I did not mean to do that, but that works. Oh.
Bullying their Loki. Okay, their Loki's bullying me.
Sorry. I tried.
It's victory time!
It's good. I'm gonna protect your life.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh, this isn't our
kill thing!
I thought this was ours.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. I'm too locked in. I'm locked in.
Oh, he's following me. This bitch is following me.
No, I got you. No, I got you.
Oh, there's a health pack right there. Shit.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Oh, I survived.
Let's go.
I must hydrate.
Hydration necessary.
I killed him for you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I wasn't gonna let that one slide.
What are we gonna let that
You got revenge for me?
Let's go, Sam. Let's go.
Is that you? Is that someone on our team?
That's
Yes,
hot.
yeah.
Don't die. Why, Thor? Why? Why is Thor always after me?
Oh,
Elijah,
that damage amp. Holy shit.
That thing's so damn good.
That damage amp was amazing.
Let's go.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you for the unlimited bullets. Let's
yeah, it was
now.
It's not there for very long.
Oh, you want to see the emo? You want to see the emo?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
You just disconnected.
So different.
It was so powerful that somebody DC'd.
Go.
Is someone actually DC?
Yeah.
Oh shit, on our team?
Oh, in Paul.
No, die! That's okay, I've accepted this.
Accepted death.
Yeah, I've accepted it. Like, there's no way I'm getting out of there.
Nothing personal.
I didn't notice that I was the one standing next to him, and I just beat the shit out of him.
back where I
Like, oops, wrong person.
Oh, everybody died. I feel like this is for the best.
I didn't even notice, but I thought I was next to Citrus, but me and the other team's Jeff were just chilling together, accidentally. He was healing and I was shooting at others, and then I turned around, I was like, oh shit. So I started beating him, he was looking around to find who it was. It was like, oh shit. Sorry man, it was me. I didn't know we weren't like chilling because of this, but like, well we thought it was our teammates. He doesn't even have a bucket on his team.
Not Jeff Walls, Root Walls. There we go.
Alright, that feels better.
I'm in there.
Oh, I tried to save you.
It's okay, yeah,
I got moved.
a lot.
Yeah, the moon haunts everyone! I'm gonna die, but it's okay! I did my part!
No, I'm dead.
Eli, you wanna heal?
Sure.
Oh, let's go.
At least I didn't wake up in the crazy house again.
Let's fucking go.
No, it's a fun battle!
I got
Oh no,
I got
we have to get on site!
Someone touch that! Someone touch! Citrus, go touch
Who's
that
close?
shit!
Who's close?
And
Citrus.
Jeff's ult does
Just
not
pretend
keep
it's
us there,
minor.
remember?
Citrus, pretend it's a minor! There we go! Good job, Citrus!
What? Oh god.
Alright, that feels
I don't
better.
like the way that was said.
What do you want me to say?
Not that.
No, fuck!
Damn it.
Wait, they're not gonna kill us. Watch. Watch
Oh,
this.
Psylocke ult time!
One.
No, it doesn't count as a Psylocke ult when she's on site though.
Anyway.
I've got
Easy. That was not easy. That was not easy.
GG.
Well, you can't expect to win.
Oh yeah, I don't see anyone else's chat, so it's like...
And here I was about to defend him earlier.
I'm barely fucking positive.
We have our healer Groot. Love that.
I think we should all go healers next game.
Just all healers.
Bet.
Oh yeah, I made Lord
Heals?
Cloak
All
and Dagger.
Oh, you got Lord?
I got Lord, yeah.
Zeus mine. You have double my deaths, lol. What? What'd you say, Pot? Oh, they're talking to the Angie person who said easy. Wow. Crazy. I mean, get him, I guess. Okay, Pot's kind of chill.
Alright, let's go, Pot.
No, let's not say that.
Let's go, Pot. Let's go.
Let's go, Pot. Oh, Pinu, I don't actually mean anything like that. It's not. We're not talking about the drug. It's.
God, I love pot.
You got
Guys,
so worried.
Now I want to go
Guys,
smoke.
you got me in trouble.
Citrus, you DC'd? Wait, where's
Citrus?
Citrus?
Citrus, did you get it?
Citrus, was it bedtime? Citrus, was it bedtime, or did your Wi-Fi go out?
My Wi-Fi is off.
Are you coming back?
Crashing out.
Gang, I cannot hear a single word you just fucking said. I did not hear none of it. Are you coming back?
My Wi-Fi is crashing out.
Oh. Wi-Fi's crashing. That's not good.
The joys of Wi-Fi. Oof.
Oh god, not this again, Citrus. Not again.
Citrus, would you like my Wi-Fi? You can come over. Come get the Wi-Fi.
A few-hour drive, but
I'll share. It's okay.
Never invited me to get some Wi-Fi.
Hey, listen, your Wi-Fi is slightly better than Citrus's. Also, I'm pretty sure your PC is the problem.
What about me?
Yeah, you never
You want to
invited
come
us
over
to
and
get
get
me
Wi-Fi? I'm pretty sure your Wi-Fi might be better than mine, but yeah.
No, it's just because I'm connected to the Ethernet.
Me too.
I'm not.
But yeah, my
Ethernet's
computer do the
wonderful.
blank screen every so often. I love when that happens.
Oh.
That's also just like Marvel Rivals. Everyone's PCs just like crash with Marvel Rivals. It's destroyed my PC.
No, they don't.
Really?
Most
My
people.
PC has not crapped out once on this game.
Okay, we
Oh, yeah,
get
this
it.
game
You're
hates
really
me.
good.
This game
Well,
hates
look at
me.
it.
Yeah,
One
this game didn't play for me for a while.
Yeah, I used to have a PC that crapped out all the time, but
But
I've
this is
upgraded.
like a
I
custom
already
game
Oh, yeah,
on
I've
PC
been
too, and it's
playing.
like nope.
I should probably start the next
Shit
game,
went
shouldn't
off.
I?
Oh, there goes Citrus.
Bye, Citrus.
Oh wait, okay.
Citrus
I'm-
is struggling.
Should I have not started the next game? I didn't know.
mean-
This will be back soon.
Yeah, by the time that we get done with this, it'll be, yeah.
Sorry.
You see, like whenever I'm leader, I just like instantly start it, and I'm like, I have to press it.
It's in my blood. It's in my blood.
I have to
I
press the
take
button.
too long, and then I get worried. So I'm just like, I should probably click it now.
Yo, we got heals.
I'm amazed. Like no one ever plays heals.
Everybody plays heals.
We got heals, Elijah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to yell at people to play heals in my comp matches.
Oh, I'm in. Wait, I caught Sue Storm. Fuck. Okay, whatever.
They
I'll
took
play.
your
Are we still doing heal squad?
No, they took all the healers.
They took all the good healers. Oh, I get to do the jumpy! Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's freaking go!
America would be doing this on the jumpies.
Let's go! Big jumpies.
I loved. Oh wait, you guys can still hear me. I keep forgetting that. I keep
I
forgetting that
love
completely.
You're good.
I love to.
I'm like, I'm trying to talk to chat, and I'm like, I keep pressing the mute button, but it doesn't do anything.
Don't worry, I'll just assume.
No, you're fine. I'll just assume if I don't know, then it means
you're talking to someone else.
Oh no, I'll just assume that you're really trying to get immersed as Midnight.
Yes, I'm just,
really
I'm just talking to random people.
You're really good at Midnight.
All the friends. I'm just, I'm cosplaying a little bit.
Once you reach a certain level of Midnight, you know,
yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go.
Oh no, I'm blind. I'm blind. Oh my god.
Waiting for this heal pack.
Yes, Punisher
did at the most perfect time.
I want the saloon. I want the healers.
Let's go. We're actually gonna play as our level.
Spider-Man trying to fight our healers.
Why am I just like unable to hit the saloon?
I need Spider-Man to stop fighting healers.
There we go. I got the healers.
There we
go. They were both Lord.
No, okay, be careful. Spider-Man's in our backline trying to hurt our healers.
Who's Lord?
Watch his ass.
The two healers on the other team, or oh no, just one of the healers.
No, our healers are being attacked by Spider-Man.
Oh,
please.
I see him.
Babysit our healers. Our healers should not be suffering.
Wanda directly counters Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get his ass.
I'm like, I have my list of counters.
Watch our
up.
healers. Make sure our healers are safe. He's behind us. Oh, you're after his ass. Oh, you're.
Oh, and I dodged it.
No, cloak and dagger.
I heal her. I heal her.
No.
I'm
gonna die. No.
Snoop boy.
I got point.
That's a lot of damage.
I'm not done.
Oh, like it doesn't look like you have point.
Yeah.
Just spiritually, he has.
I'm at 1. I'm literally at 1.
He's spiritually.
Dashing the fuck back.
Oh, Psylocke is 1. Spider-Man. Ouch, jeez.
I hate Spider-Man.
They were distracted.
The main reason I want to get to Diamond is so I can ban. Spider-Man. That's all I want.
Spider-Man. Ow, fucking Spider-Man.
Hello, Alexa.
Together.
To victory.
Shields up.
Ooh, heals.
Elijah ulted. Oh, okay, he's going straight after me. Okay, he's after me.
As long as there's like 3 of us in it with
Let's go.
we should be okay. But
anyway, he's actually waited at spawn for me, so he's actually waiting for me. So guys,
my God.
if you see Spider-Man, just know I'll be somewhere nearby it.
If we find the bright red guy, then the muted colors will be
red.
I'm gonna be there. Yep, I am.
Stand down! Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Go squirrels! Oh, they're gonna kill my squirrels.
Incoming!
They killed my squirrels!
I need help with Groot. Oh my God, Spider-Man! Get this Spider-Man off my fucking
Spider-Man.
Get that vehicle moving again.
Oh no.
Where'd he go?
We're almost to Avengers Tower. Stay close,
So you just have a list of counters?
I do. I have my list
You
of
just have it up
counters.
at all times?
Basically, yeah, because I'm always either about to play Marvel Rivals or playing Marvel Rivals.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have two
Uh,
states.
Two states about to play Val and Rivals. Play.
Currently playing.
To be like,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, Elijah.
God, I would never do that.
No, not at all.
never.
Oh, I'm so dead.
Oh, we're all dead.
Are they anywhere near here?
No, I'm alive. I'm dead.
I'm sleeping next to Luna.
They were nowhere close.
I'm sleeping next to Luna.
You made the Spider-Man angry, by the way.
Spider-Man's always angry.
Spider-Man needs to die. You want me to get his ass again?
I mean, so that would be
There we go.
preferable.
I fucking hate Spider-Man. I fucking hate Spider-Man. I fucking hate Spider-Man. I fucking hate Spider-Man. I fucking hate Spider-Man.
There we go.
Trying to kill my healers? Nah. Nah, I don't live that way.
They're so low.
Next time you
I like how I'm pushing front line. I'm supposed to be back line.
I'd be turning around like crazy trying to find this Spider-Man. I'm like, fuck.
Just
He could be
spinning in
anywhere.
circles.
Yes, I actually am. If you look at me, I look like I'm playing Moon Knight. This guy's anywhere.
Cosplaying Moon
I
Knight.
feel like I'm a white gun guard whenever it comes to Spider-Man.
No,
just like-
Spider-Man's back. Spider-Man's back.
He'll just appear, he'll start attacking me, but then he'll disappear, and I'm just like, I must spend the win.
Nice.
Okay,
Oh,
there we go.
guys, don't worry. I'll push the cart.
Oh, turret.
I
Okay.
destroyed his turret. I just kind of went in front of it with
I
my
walked
shield.
into a wall.
Get Spider-Man, honestly.
The wall was on the ship. Thank you. Thank you, man.
I think that's actually kind of helpful. Thank you.
Oh, I almost killed him.
Oh, I just died.
Keep up the momentum.
Ooh, that's a lot of death.
He's getting pocket
Run!
healed.
Run!
Oh, I should know.
Yo.
Run,
Oh, I
America!
thought there was a healer.
I'm behind them now.
Oh, you're dead too.
Spawned the new spawn. Oh, wait, no one. Oh,
Oh, wait, I'm alone. I'm alone here.
they're not there.
Yeah, they're all on me right now.
Keep them at it. Keep them at it.
I
Anywho.
think they've realized they keep
I
running
shall
from
be
me.
the wall.
Yeah, they've realized I got them.
I know.
Spider-Man!
They're failing, but they're trying.
But it was long enough.
Yeah!
I'm trying to be a wall. They solo ulted me.
I tried to help, I died immediately.
But that's
so sorry.
good, because they lost Sigru ult.
We're back, right, Tippy Toe?
Oh, the new spawn. This is so nice.
The new spawn, nice and close.
Oh, why are they behind?
Because they failed.
There we go. I'm like, what?
Frank.
Oh, Spider-Man's here.
Us against the world.
Oh, I shouldn't have ulted that.
Oh, am I positive?
I still haven't ulted yet. I've had my ult for ages, I just haven't used it.
Yeah, you are.
Spider-Man.
You are. Oh, take the health back.
I am positive, 100%.
Yeah, you are. Like I said, I'm America.
Thank you.
Noise.
Okay, I tried to get Spider-Man, but
Don't mess with the amazing
Oh
Spider-Man!
no. Oh no.
I'm being a distraction. I'm being a little distracting, boy. I'm being a little distracting, boy.
We see it.
I'm being a good little distraction.
Love to see it, love to see it.
Good job, little guy.
Has Luna ulted before now?
I killed Psylocke. I killed Psylocke.
Luna has not ulted yet.
That's why I keep dying.
Make sure to bully this
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man.
in the back line.
Oh, I got frozen. I'm gonna die.
I see you. I see you. You're fine. You're fine. You're safe.
Yes.
Tranquility.
Oh my god. No.
You just said that's the Bucky I know as I killed someone.
Oh.
That's the Bucky I know. Oh, I get to look at my stats now. Please let me look at my stats. Please. Please let me look. Oh, I did okay. I did good.
I do. I love the new map. I can't wait for another one.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting another one until the next season.
I think we need another one now.
Yeah, I want
Like,
more.
I know they're hard to produce, but I want another one.
I want more.
More
power, more power.
I think I'm gonna go and stream.
Okay.
All
Wait,
right.
are you gonna stream this or something else?
Huh?
End stream or stream.
Oh, and okay.
Yeah, I'm ending. I'm ending.
I thought you said
stream,
you were gonna
sorry.
start, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of late, huh?
No, I've streamed this late before. I'm ending stream. I don't know how much more of this I'm gonna play. But whenever you guys want to watch Squid Game, if I leave before you guys are done, you guys can continue playing, and I'll just wait.
I mean, I'll do anything. If you guys get off, I'll get on my other account, but otherwise, I'll stay on this one.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go end stream. I'll be right back. Y'all can talk about this while I'm gone. While I'm dead.
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, if you go, wait, okay, Citrus hasn't gone back online.
I guess
Maybe we
avoid
should play a
consume
comp
them.
game.
I mean, I'm down for it. I'm like in a comp mood. I've won 2 games today already, so I'm feeling good.
I have not played comp in a little while, so I feel like I need to get back into a flow a bit.
I love comp. It makes me so angry. For the first time in my life, I actually wanted to punch a wall. I've never before wanted to do that in my life, but I did because of Marvel Rivals comp. But I'm like, you know what? I still love it.
I mean, if you don't feel like punching a wall at any point in your life, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, my mom had to teach me how to throw a tantrum, a temper tantrum. I didn't know how to do it, and she told me how to do it, and I'm like, I don't like this. It's too loud. Like, no.
I just have internal rage to.
Yeah, I remember some of my therapists, they're like, it's okay, you can release the rage inside of you. And I'm like, why would I want to do that? It's loud, and I don't like loud noises or sudden things. And they're like, okay, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. You're gonna be okay. Just give it another 20. Give it another 20 years of internalizing this. You'll be fine.
I just
Like,
control
thanks.
my rage until I eventually break.
Exactly. That's like the polite way to do things.
I have my
Hello,
once a month
Wolfina.
mental breakdown.
Exactly.
318
Welcome in,
raided with
Raiders.
2
Thank you so much for joining us. I think we're gonna play some comp if you're like right about to rank up, I think, Wolfina.
Viewers? I am viewers.
Oh, thanks for the follow.
Yep.
Valora_VZ just followed.
There we go. Oh my god, I just keep looking at Squirrel's tail. I'm like, wee.
I love her tail.
I love it. It's like, I got it once so it was glitched. It was just like constantly doing this. And it was the cutest thing ever. It was like twitching behind her. Love to be told.
Dagger has a fun glitch where her hair will sometimes clip in front of her face.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So I guess she somewhat has a beard sometimes.
Just a fun little beard. Let's see, yeah, I'm like, I played Squirrel enough on here, I'm already a captain on this account, and I'm like, I don't get it. Quit that?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get to Lord on just one character. I'm struggling.
It's like, if you just, the Conquest is the easiest way, because your abilities recharge faster, and when you die, you instantly spawn. It's like, if you farm that, that's the easiest way to get multiple characters to Lord.
So Zoe, at one point, I feel like we know what game mode we're going to be playing for a bit.
Conquest?
Yeah.
Conquest.
I literally just spam that for like 4 hours sometimes, and I usually get it. Baby has watched squirrels, but she's never attacked squirrels, but she likes watching them. Yeah. I don't know, Rusty, he's watched squirrels too, but he really doesn't care about them. And Baby prefers hunting mice. She's killed some mice. No squirrels yet. We'll give her a couple of years. So, are we?
I'm pretty sure Woodland's coming back, right?
Yeah, I thought so. They said yeah in chat, so I think they're gonna come back. I don't know. I know they're like pretty close to Silver 1.
Oh.
Woodland's probably coming back.
Yeah, they're still online, so I figured, but...
I sent an invite. No.
Something about recovery. Like the number 337. Okay, yeah, I do have my giant thing of counters up. Best counters for every single character in Marvel Rivals. And explanations.
And explanations.
Oh yeah, it's a long ass article.
Who took the time out of their day to do this? Who was nice enough for that?
There's a lot of these. There's a lot of them actually. I just chose my favorite one. Because it's like, it's compressed mostly at the top. But yeah, it's like, if we need a counter, I got it. I got you. The only healer counter to Spider-Man is Mantis. Only one. It's crazy.
Yes, because she can make him sleep.
Yeah, and then just 2 headshots and he's basically dead.
I understand the Scarlet Witch one.
Yeah. She's like the only one that can keep up with him.
Well, one's taking a bit. I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Okay.
Alright.
My cat keeps disappearing on me. He comes out, he says hi, and then he goes back somewhere.
He decides he wants to just peek in and check how things are going.
Well, like, whenever I leave the room, he comes out like, oh, excuse me, you're leaving me? And then he goes back underneath the bed. And I'm like, okay, so he wants me in the room, but he doesn't want to be around. Like, what?
Antisocial, but really wants to be social.
And he's the social one of my cats. I mean, neither of them really, but he's the more social one. We're just amazed when she stays on, like, the same general area of my dad, and she's, like, had him, like, he's been the one to feed her and take care of her when we're gone, and she's still like, I will allow you 2 pets, and then I will leave. Go away. Go away. I don't care if you have food and treats. It's like, okay. Okay, sweetheart. That's fine.
Pets is all that is allowed. That's sad.
My bad. I had to do some of the after stream stuff, but I'll wait for some of it later.
I mean, Elijah's in the bathroom right now, so we have like a minute.
Yeah, I know. I heard you guys the whole time. I might go get something real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll be back before Elijah watches this.
Sure.
Of course.
We'll see.
Who's gonna get back first?
Who's gonna get back first?
Oh, I kinda want the new Luna bundle, but I don't know. I don't play her enough anymore. But it looks so
It's
cool.
really nice. Oh, look who's back.
Oh, okay. Someone lost a bet.
What? Did somebody think I was gonna die?
No! What?
Well,
Why
I
would
came
that be
back
the
and
bet?
I came back and said I am alive, and then you said, "Oh, somebody lost a bet." So I can only assume based off those two statements.
Thought Wilton would get back before you.
Well, I didn't think that actually, but
I really believed as well.
I didn't.
Having faith in my P skills, I guess.
Yeah. I got you, man.
Yeah.
Can't decide the Psylocke one. I only have enough for like 1 costume on my account. And I don't want to buy anything because I've spent too much money on video games.
Yeah.
I've spent nothing on Marvel Rivals so far. However,
I can't imagine spending an unreasonable amount on Marvel Rivals. I really can't.
$40.
I can't imagine. I can't
Oh my
imagine.
god. Well, after I bought all those Valorant skins and then I got really angry at Valorant, I'm like, I have to think about this. Am I actually gonna play this game for a long time?
996,997,991.
Oh my gosh. And you're back after Eli. Who could have guessed?
Yeah, I would have been back before him, but I fell up the stairs.
Oh
my gosh.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
So are we ready for a comp match? We're getting everyone comfy in silver. What? Did my Wi-Fi go out? Let me reconnect. There we go.
Was that me or was that somebody else?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that was all of us, because
Yeah.
that was happening to me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody was.
Yeah, no, that was Discord. That was a Discord.
I was bugging the fuck out.
I was just worried for your knees, and then suddenly everything died.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah,
what happened?
I was like, bro, I cannot hear what you are saying.
Robot talk.
I just heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god, what just happened?
I heard you saying the vowels, and that was it.
From like Woodland and Sam, and that was it. And then it was just dead.
Pick your
Okay,
hero.
let's see.
Or villain. I'm not judging.
I play Bucky. Oh, perfect. I can play Bucky.
I tear through the
what are we on?
cloudless night.
Which?
just
Oh,
like
we don't know the
moon.
map yet.
Oh wait.
What's
Do you want
Panther?
to play? Are you sure you want to play healer? I can play healer.
I can do heal. I like heal.
Okay.
I've been playing a lot of Rocket recently.
I can tell.
Can you?
Yeah, I've never seen a Rocket MVP before, and you had it.
I keep seeing like Lord Rockets, and I'm like, I think after the pacifist run, everyone's going Rocket.
Khonshu guides me, just not always in the right direction.
Pacifist run?
Yeah, there was a guy, what was it? It's like Pacifist Rocket or something, but he only plays Rocket, and he only got 22 damage, and that was an accident.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Rocket, I believe.
I only play Bruce.
We keep ending up in these situations.
Only Bruce. Only Bruce.
I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I'm boosting out.
Just throw
Yeah, the same
science at
climb?
them. Just scream and yell science. I'm Brucing
Scream
out.
and yell science
Yeah.
words.
4,
Bro,
3,
Mitochondria!
1.
Oh, the cell!
Capture the mission area.
on the update list, when it said Hulk, it says
You
Bruce,
guys
and
are
then what
actually
they updated
here,
about
right?
Bruce.
Or am I imagining
Update
this?
about
Bro,
Bruce. I
that's
mean,
how much people love Bruce.
I will go with bottom squad.
Also, sorry for talking while I'm eating.
Ah, you're good, you're good.
You heartless
Surrender
monster.
your strength.
I don't think I can associate
I
with
need
you anymore.
sugar. I need sugar. I'm fucked up.
Thanks.
I don't care.
Will.
Yeah, I can't associate with you anymore.
Touch my damn healers. Touch my damn healers.
oh, he's low, he's so low!
Yeah, because I made him that way.
Yes!
You need their power.
I'm farming!
Give me that stew. Give me that stew. I hear you, Stu.
I killed the Wolverine.
Oh, help me. Work my life, big mom.
Bubble.
Needed that. Thanks. Surrender your strength.
Oh, come on, they like instantly destroyed my
Please
arm.
get into my line of sight. Please get into
Don't
my
die,
line of
don't
sight.
die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. Son, come back. Come back.
Please
I'm
stay
gonna
with me.
die, I'm gonna die.
Yo,
That's not me.
He's solo ulted?
That's not me.
He's solo ulted?
While you're back.
I'm gonna wait for everyone to get in there.
yeah, let's squad up. Oh,
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum.
to me, my
Come on,
X-Men.
Khonshu. Let me rest.
That's
I'm like,
right
I got
there.
scared and
munching.
ulted.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm sorry, I was watching.
I went, ah!
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Back up under their noses.
You need their power.
Yeah, this is our point. I'm just, I know it might not be the strategic genius Giga Brain move, but
No,
yeah.
this was a good one. It got us sight back.
This is good.
Do your worst.
Oh no, he's going for me!
Oh,
shit.
That was a
Got
good
through.
ult on his part.
yeah.
Back again? Great.
Their team's capture progress has
I feel like an iPad kid.
Like an iPad kid. The way you're eating?
I'm chewing on food and I'm playing a video game.
Yep. As you should.
Thank you. I've been trying to tell people that, but they don't want to believe me.
No, that's the way it should be.
It's a scary Bucky! It's a scary Bucky!
Go, Bucky, go! Go, Bucky, go!
Time to train.
I couldn't skip you, I'm sorry.
It's alright. I was in there.
I don't like that.
I transferred.
That saved my life.
I thought I could outwalk that.
Wolverine got me.
Oh, I should have waited and done my ult on that ult.
I am not doing good. I'm switching to healer.
You're switching to heal?
Come on, Khonshu.
Yeah.
Let me rest.
When
Alright,
I'm
if
doing
you want to switch
Bucky,
to
I
heal.
switch to heal.
I would say we farm what we can for our ults and then yeah.
Oh my god. Maybe I don't go to heal now.
Bro, he got 1 kill.
Nah, stay on, Bucky.
Yeah.
Stay on him?
Yeah.
Magneto
Yes,
is like
ma'am.
Wait.
Like, what are you doing?
Friends
You know
call
what?
me Mark.
I don't even know the scoreboard. I
Magneto
haven't
is
clicked it
definitely
yet.
like an
Nah, 'cause he has
overpowered
one more kill
character
than you in the same amount of
certain
deaths.
sense. Like, if you play him really, really well, and if you're really good with his ult, then he's a very, very powerful character,
30 seconds
but
before you attack.
I mean, he's not the best tank. It's just his ultimate against Cloak and Dagger. If you can get that kill, then he's worth it. But anyone else,
Who even is it?
it's like, nah. It's like, nah. I'd always go strange for
Reporting. You
Magneto.
know what, bitch? You know what, bitch?
Bro, what? What did you do?
What are they saying? I have mine censored so I can't see.
Battle starts in 5,
What did I do?
3,
Keyboard.
2,
Strings out here.
1.
Oh, talking shit, probably.
Capture the mission area. Got it?
He was reporting.
Richardson
I'm a
started
tank.
thinking
You know
they
what? That doesn't
everything.
mean nothing. You keep running away from the heels. We're trying our best, and here you are, running off in the distance, hiding. You dumb mother.
A tank should actually be getting a decent amount of kills.
Time to train.
What did I do?
I get decent kills as tank. Like, he has no excuse.
Amplifier.
Yeah, don't.
Healer's down, healer's down.
Say good night.
Looks like the mission area is yours to
Yeah, I made it too far back. I'm sorry. I did too far
I
back.
can't shoot past the ball. Jeez.
I put my Alk in the wrong spot.
mission area is yours.
Well,
Want to talk about a kill? Want to talk about a kill? Do we want to talk about a kill?
Oh, Magneto's low!
Oh, this.
Am I even with him now?
yeah.
No, Wolverine, I love you, I love you, I love you. Oh.
Am I?
1-4, 1-3.
Control lock.
Is he 1-3?
Yeah.
Khonshu,
Okay.
watch
That's
out for
because he's a
me.
tank.
Oh, 1-4, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot more damage pick than you do. And yeah, he's died for the
And
same
he's
amount of
only
times. You can't say shit.
We're gonna ult.
If you want to go in, I'll put down the unlimited bullets wherever you want to go. Here?
Oh, I thought they were.
Yeah, here.
Here.
In the healing range, yeah, it's perfect. Thank you.
Ooh,
No problem.
Shoot, that was sweet. Oh! I can't jump, I can't
crap.
jump.
Yeah, I made sure they targeted me, then I phased, so don't worry about my stuff.
I clicked out of the screen!
Okay, that's okay. I do that.
I'm dead. I'm so fucking dead.
We're all dead. We're all dead.
Holy shit, they all ulted on my head.
Again!
Back where I
Yeah, we all
started.
died there. We all died in that same hit.
I had the Magneto behind me, just like, he was just on my ass the entire time. I'm gonna go around the side if anyone wants to join me.
Oh, yes.
I'm coming with you, bro. We're all coming with you.
I'll make sure the tanks are alive.
The moon
Okay.
Make sure one tank stays alive.
to train.
Don't worry, someone.
God, they have my line of sight instantly.
Oh, no, Wolf.
Damn it. He went after me.
Aw, damn.
I'm gonna look at scoreboard.
I already almost have, well, not almost, but I'm already, like, close to my ult again, ish.
I'm so close to just looking at scoreboard. I know I'm doing so much worse than
He's not even doing better than you.
Is he not?
He's not. He's not. He's literally not even doing
walked
better than
into
you are.
that. That was stupid of me.
Fucking asshole.
Wait, are we playing comp? Oh my god, we're playing comp.
Yeah. I realized we're playing comp a little while ago, and I freaked out a little bit.
I know.
I thought we agreed.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't even think about it.
I kind of forgot, yeah.
No, because you actually have more kills than him. He's
typing something.
Yeah, I can tell.
I almost have my ult. No, my ult.
He was standing still. He's typing
Watch him say something stupid. Watch him say something stupid, and he's getting reported.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Defeat. To be fair, they were all silvers. Everyone was a silver.
They were literally all higher level than us, yeah.
There we go. We get upvotes, they don't get upvotes.
I'm gonna upvote everyone.
You're too good.
I know, I'm filled with bitterness.
Yeah, no, I don't like dumbass people.
Upvoting everyone is like, think about it. It's like whenever you, instead of like flipping somebody off if they do a stupid turn or whatever.
I have more kills than him and less deaths. Wait, what? What'd I do?
He was
What
just
did I do?
bitter.
He's just an asshole.
I thought you guys were just lying to me.
No. He's
No.
literally just an asshole.
Okay. So,
I have exactly 0 RR. That's nice.
I got honey crisps.
Ooh.
Yummy.
What am I gonna eat tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah. I haven't had breakfast yet.
Oh. No.
What are
That's
these
real,
ranks?
but also not good.
What are these ranks?
That's the
think-
choice that was made.
the
This
to be
is not
fair,
good.
ranking is based off of what you call it. Like they just try to keep you at a 50% no matter what. So
I went down.
Yeah,
I was at 39% win rate on my other account. I got like 5 losses in a row. My friend got 10 losses in a row. After a couple days of just winning almost every game, and it's just like I don't get it.
yeah.
Now I'll play healer because I know I'm doing bad.
I think they might do
You
a
wanna
Mr.
play healer?
Fantastic.
You can play healer.
I'll play healer.
Okay, come on, McDonald's. Come on. You got
I'm
this.
sorry.
You
I
got
loaded
this.
in,
Come on,
Elijah.
man.
You suck.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's just you.
We
Wow, it
can't
really
even
is
point
just
and laugh.
you.
Sorry.
This
Can
is.
you guys not bully me? I'm sorry.
I'm bullying. I'll let you
I'm-
bring strawberries.
The right heroes could make all the
I have
difference.
strawberries. I don't get bullied.
What if I don't heal you?
Gray
but
soda.
I'm healer, so what if I don't heal you?
Oh.
What if I? What
Oh,
if
how this takes
I?
a turn.
What if I?
Oh my god, no. You just scare the crap out of me, man. Never do that again.
That's my new threat. If Woodland ever tries to
No, he
mess
does
with
it all the time, yeah.
Yeah, if you have a healer and you try to mess with me,
I can hear the Spider-Man 2099 sound.
And she has the powers of
Shake it
a
up.
regular squirrel. Disappearing He'll be coming
Okay.
in 30 seconds. Stay
I
strong.
hate this. I hate the car games. I hate the car games.
I used to hate them. Now I prefer them over domination.
Why?
It's because it's like I don't like going to the same area and not moving around. It just seems like so
Yeah.
repetitive, and if I just keep
But then the
dying at
map
the same
moves.
spot, I'm like, meh.
Bro, you play Valorant.
That's why I don't play as much Valorant anymore.
4,
I'm like, I want to keep moving.
2, 1.
I can't see people yet,
You have to
so
stop them from securing the
This
Can't
ain't
see them.
good.
They're far off in the distance.
No, but I
Okay,
can
you're not a
see
healer.
people. Yeah,
Oh.
Like our team.
Make me feel at home.
I'm legally blind.
Let me know if anyone
we
sees
go.
a Doctor Strange.
You are in there, fam.
Portaling. They're portaling.
They're bored.
Yeah.
Why was that echo?
I did it in chat as well.
Oh.
Okay. I was like, what the fuck?
I can't see
I
who
was
I'm
very
hitting.
confused.
Why, Joe? Why, Joe?
Oh
Why,
my
Joe?
god, cat, please.
I opened a text
Oh, God.
document on my computer. Fuck.
My
They came
cat
from
decided,
everywhere.
yeah, I'm just gonna stand right in front of you. The second you have to actually focus.
Like, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say we give them this point and we set up at this corner.
I actually opened a fucking Windows DOS. Fucking
I'll try to get their back line.
perfect, Elijah.
Oh, god damn. They can load venom! No!
Elijah, they're getting our back line!
I'm sorry.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
He's trying to whip us!
Enemy ahead.
They're not getting our back line.
Prepare to
We're good.
engage.
Yes, they are! They're standing
We're
right here!
screaming.
Very much stronger!
Oh, we were on different back lines, man.
Yes, we are the back line right here.
I'm trying.
Colors are.
Oh my god. I'm trying.
Squirrels! Save us!
I
Oh, my
have all.
squirrels are
I
dead.
used all of my abilities.
You're good. Just get in there, boy.
I am ready to
You're
put on a
American.
show.
Yeah, America.
Save us!
America.
We're not venom.
America.
Oh my god, they're just pushing. Holy crap.
Yes.
Get off.
Okay, everyone be happy.
Oh,
Happy,
so many that
healthy.
are so low. So many that are so low.
Happy, healthy little dudes.
Luna is
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Right there, up
Oh,
there.
we must
Get his
hydrate.
ass. Get his ass. Get his ass.
Hydration.
Can't get him.
Nice! Which freaking go? Which freaking go? Which freaking go?
Seems like with these corners, it's like perfect.
Some corners are perfect, and then some of them you're like, huh.
Some of them are terrible.
Luna is
Oh,
so low.
come
There we
here.
go.
Don't worry. I got my
Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Where'd he go?
This is real firepower.
Stay with my shield!
Oh, I don't venom though.
No, you don't get to. You don't get to. Did he die?
Nice,
Did I
nice.
save
They're
him?
dead, they're dead, they're dead.
I'm not done with
I'm too American to get paralyzed by magic.
Okay, let's not.
Well,
Powers of America.
No, I stopped
Let's
it.
not start with the. No, but it's the way that you pause that paralyzed. You're too American to get paralyzed is crazy.
Stop them in their tracks.
Well, what? I'm sorry.
Especially as a wallet.
Yeah, cause me, bro.
I'm sorry. Maybe you just aren't American enough.
Well, it's not. That's kind of the
The
point.
Italian, yeah.
Yeah. Get more American, but maybe you.
The Italians, man.
God, I'm becoming a terrible
We all get
person.
ulted.
I'm becoming more and more of a terrible person every day.
My bad,
Every
everybody.
day I see the gates of hell kept coming closer as I just slowly become more of an evil person.
Ah, yes, America.
Oh my god, the rocket's so close to dying. Please.
And then I realize that I'm immune because I'm freaking American. God fuck America.
Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm not
Rocket
dead.
Raccoon?
Oh, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die.
If you save me, I won't be. You won't be dying. You won't be dying. You won't be dying. If I'm alive, you're not dying. If I'm alive, you're not dying.
Are people okay?
I'm alive, you're not.
If I'm alive, you're not fucking dying.
Nice.
If you did your job, I
didn't realize somebody's there.
Bro!
I'm trying to kill Luna. I killed Luna. I killed Luna.
Come back, Elijah,
I killed
please.
Luna.
It's
No.
not funny anymore. It's not funny
But I
anymore.
killed Luna. I killed Luna. Look, I
It
killed
was never
Luna.
funny. It was never
It
funny.
was never funny. It was never funny. It was not funny. It's not funny anymore.
My only mission.
Just the screams.
Oh my god, the screams of agony.
I'm on the way.
Magneto, you're beautiful. I'm invisible now.
Oh no, Magneto
I'm
dead.
here now. I'm here now.
Get them, Elijah. Yeah, I'm just hiding with all the fucking tanks. Like, please help me.
Oh, why do I just get destroyed by the store? Oh, no. Don't behold.
America!
Get him.
No bast.
No bastard today.
No bast.
Oh, one healer.
Who's going to the stop?
Isn't it just fantastic? Fantastic. Sorry. I'm so glad no one heard that.
I heard it. Fantastic. Who am I?
We all heard it.
Fantastic. Who am I? Fantastic. Who am I?
There we go. That bitch kept going after me, so I went after
I
him.
took like 12 shotguns to the face.
This is real firepower.
Black Panther, Black
I'm
Panther,
gonna
Black
die.
Panther.
Yeah, I can't get you.
I got him, I got him, I got him, I got him, I got
Is
him.
that my first death? Can someone tell me if that was my first death?
You're second.
My first
Second.
Second. Okay.
30 seconds.
You did really good.
This fight.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I can't get on top of this thing? That's mean.
Now might be I am ready to put on
Oh,
a
they
show.
all could.
If somebody can get that rocket, I would love you guys forever.
Get Venom! He's in the back lines again!
Again?
Oh my.
Fucking again!
I can't.
Elijah!
I'm
Damn
sorry.
skill, bruh. Thank you.
We're telling you to go after different
You
things.
not just, no one's dead, no one's dead, no one's dead. I told you if I'm alive, you're alive. If I'm alive, you're alive. If I'm alive, you're... I'm not gonna be alive soon.
Oh. Crap.
Someone...
I
Elijah?
just hear the scream.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Hey, Elijah, when we both spawn in next, can you be my bodyguard and go immediately for Black Panther? Thank you.
It's gonna be annoying, but I guess.
Nah.
I can try my best.
Get his ass.
Oh, I'm getting murdered. I'm getting
Oh, I see him.
Only 60 seconds left.
Go for him.
On, go to Luna. Yes, got Luna.
I can't get them. He's too high up.
It's okay, it's okay.
I got.
The Venom!
There's a Bucky now. Fuck. There's a Black Panther and a Bucky? What the fuck is this shit?
I killed the Bucky.
There was always a Black Panther, but now there's a Bucky.
Good job.
My prayer is so
Get in
overwhelmed.
there, get in there. Everyone get in there. There's an ult. There's
My
a healing
prayer
ult.
is so
Get that Black
overwhelmed.
Panther! Get that Black Panther! Elijah, he's right there!
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Get there!
I'm trying.
Be in the ball! Be in the ball!
I got one healer.
Oh, behind.
In the ball, in the ball, in the ball, in the ball.
Like, all I'm doing is trying to get these guys.
I'm ready to put on a show.
I'm, okay.
Yo, got Panther. Oh no, Venom! Oh, I need help, I need help.
Stay on board.
I'm trying to handle Venom. I'm trying to handle. Luna got me. Okay.
I'm gonna be back soon. I'm gonna be back soon, I swear.
Stay on the point, stay on the point. We're good, we're good,
Stay
we're good.
on that, stay on it.
Stay on it.
Oh,
Team Anime,
I'm
Team
trying.
Anime!
Come on, come on.
I'm trying.
Oh, as soon as you got back, we were all there.
it doesn't count if you're invisible.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
It's okay, we did really good. We did
Yeah,
really
we're
good.
going in with
good.
almost 2 ults.
Time to switch things up.
They still probably have Punisher ult. They used Venom
Well,
ult.
don't you lose ult in this version?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh.
You'll need a top-notch
I
trainer
forgot
to win
about
this
that.
one.
You lose your ult. I get to check my stats. Oh, I'm not doing bad.
Yeah,
You're
no.
not.
Oh my gosh! 12,000 healing!
Say no.
Let's freaking go!
Yeah, it's like on these, you aim for 10 to 15,000 healing, and if you get anywhere in there, you're like, you're doing good for your team.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, bro.
Okay.
My damage was?
Damage depends on the character. Because it's like the KOs versus the damage. I mean, I usually try to go for about 15 to 20,000 damage, but that's with characters like Squirrel Girl, who does a lot more damage. She just doesn't get the KOs.
Yeah.
So I have like AoE damage. So I would say like,
you have blast radius.
yeah, so I would say like 10 to 20,000 maybe.
Get Elijah!
and put the timeline back together.
Get Elijah! Damn, this is a long ass emo.
Yeah.
It goes as long as you
Oh,
like.
okay.
It just
Get
keeps going.
Elijah! Get him! Get
It's
his
forever.
ass!
The battle starts
Yeah.
in 5,
Get it! Yeah!
3,
I punched
2,
him.
1.
Oh wow,
All you need to do
Hydra.
is capture the
Oh no.
missionary.
Not Hydra.
I love Hydra.
Okay, still
Wait,
have
wait.
their Punisher.
Oh shit.
I'll try to get them from behind.
Yep, go for it.
Specifically the
Toby,
healer.
you might want to come back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that turret. There we
Sorry, I
go.
walked over mines. I walked over mines.
I have a
Yeah, I
turret.
know.
I have Penny.
Oh my god. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
stacked.
really in there. You're really in there.
I tried to get them from behind, but Luna instantly got me.
Ow, bro.
Alright, let's go Doctor Strange.
Okay, yeah, I'll go in with the squad.
Doctor Strange is awesome. He's pushing this shit. Can someone get the nest?
Yeah, it's
I'm trying.
I kind of want to get...
There's Raccoon.
If we get Penny, then the nest goes.
The nest is gone, nest is gone.
Okay.
Nest is on. Everyone get in here. Where is everyone?
I'm here.
We're here.
Okay. I was about to say, I'm going in here, guys. What's going on?
I tried handling it.
Get off my boy!
I'm gonna try
Luna dead. Penny low. Penny dead.
There's a venom on me. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor Strange.
Jury! Executioner! This is real firepower!
Oh, he's going for me. Yeah, he's low, but...
Get in here. Get in here, boys. I got my 2 tanks with me. My 2 tanks.
That was going flank. Oops.
I'm trying to get the Punisher. I got the Punisher.
Nice.
I got him.
Thank you, my tanks. My 2 pocket tanks, and I don't even know one of them, but I have 2 pocket tanks somehow.
Oh, they have Spider-Man now.
Oh, they have Spider-Man.
No, that way, he's coming after me. I pay you $1 million.
Go squirrels! Oh no, he's going after me. Wait, he's one. Nice.
And so is Venom. Oh. Bro is like teleporting.
No, Spider-Man, no! Spider-Man!
Oh, terrible decisions.
Oh, he's one!
I killed what's the
There you go. Nice, Sam.
That was like, oh my god, the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life.
I feel like I'm like getting orgasmed right now.
I know. I feel like I just like went to the gym.
I am doing so good as Sue Storm right now.
Is it just me just getting hot, guys?
I'm gonna wait for my things to recharge.
What are you doing?
They have a Star-Lord.
What do you mean it's getting hot?
Like it's like I'm working out in here.
My computer is getting hot, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that's
Wait, guys, come to the ult, guys in the back.
I'm killing the Punisher.
Their asses. Oh fuck. I died.
Oh my god, I've missed every single Star-Lord attack.
Welcome back to the party, bro.
Oh, he's one.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Help me.
Sorry.
I love screaming, it's so much fun, bro.
Come on, squirrels! Yes!
I'm not ready.
Punisher one!
I killed the Punisher.
Nice.
Good job.
I must rest.
Bro.
Oh,
I'm on point. I'm just winning point. The Star-Lord's almost set?
He was.
Okay, wait, so we've had...
I got him. I can catch him.
Thank you.
This Doctor Strange is definitely my little Pookie tank. Like, he's actually waiting for me and shit.
What about America?
I love this.
I'm
I
sorry.
love this. Wait, there's my guy back here. I love him.
I'm trying to...
He's protecting the shit out of me. I'm so happy with my life.
It's okay, Elijah. You're doing your best.
Sorry, Elijah. Sorry, Elijah.
Oh my god.
Sorry. Hey, behind. Help me.
Oh, there.
Is a Star-Lord.
I did not see anybody, and I was just like,
I'm dead. I'm so dead.
No.
I'm freaking out.
I'm not getting involved in that. Sorry.
Just run. It's fine.
I'm trying. Okay, I'm invisible now.
Crap.
Thank you, Elijah. Okay, Elijah, you're redeeming yourself here, boy.
Oh,
Get that
I'm redeeming myself?
Get that Star-Lord.
Redemption.
Okay.
Redemption
arc.
Hey, Elijah.
They have no more now?
Yeah, there was like 3 of them.
Are you fucking serious? Oh, I'm gonna be dead. I'm gonna be dead in 2 seconds. Nope, Mantis just got my ass.
I am ready to put on a show.
Oh, my squirrels went the wrong way. Go squirrels! There we go. That's what I meant to do.
Sam,
Right.
I mean Zoe.
I got two of them. I got two of them. I got two of them.
Shield, hide in my
Thank
shield.
you. I'm not hiding. I don't hide. I don't
Oh,
hide.
I died.
I do not hide.
Fucking.
Anyone willing to help? Shields up.
I don't hide.
I'll assemble.
Bounding back into action.
There we go.
Hiding is for cowards.
I love hiding. Hiding is my favorite thing to do.
I lied. Also, I did hide like 3
find us,
seconds
find
ago
us.
when Star-Lord came
Yeah.
out.
Leisure.
Oh,
All around me. Bitches all around me.
Bitches all around me.
Bitches all around me.
oh.
Gotta get up on me. Sorry.
I can get victory. It's America.
I died.
We're not doing bad. We're not
Oh wait,
doing
there's no
bad.
one here. There's no one here. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Back up, back up.
Oh shit.
I hate anymore.
I think it's
That's
ENB
fair,
and all the
that's fair.
mods. Oh yeah. Skyrim is just like crazy to download. Oh my god.
I can't help.
Decision.
Okay, wait.
Okay,
So
Leisure.
we're staggered. So we gotta
Oh,
like
he
hang
killed me,
back and
shot me.
wait.
He killed me. He shot my ass.
Oh. Ow.
Judge, he was.
Oh, run. Run for your life.
Run, run.
We can't let him win.
At least protect the Mantis.
We got this.
Focus
No, look at Dr. Strange. Right, come here. So
Chilling out.
he was trying not to get with the Punisher.
So, hi.
Hi, I got you. I'm down, bro.
Thank you.
One point.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you.
He's up, but he's going to me now.
Say so. Why does no one?
Okay.
Hi,
You can't just like go off.
Oh come on! He went directly for me.
Okay, now go behind this wall. Go behind this wall and get away from this guy.
Shit, let's go. Let's go.
Star-Lord in there with us.
Oh shit.
Okay, I almost have my ult. Okay.
Star-Lord came in there with us.
Wait,
Why am I? Did you see
have my ult?
Well, Fina, once you ult, Valora's ult will go well with it.
Yeah, I know. We've done it before.
Give. I'm on my way.
Oh, that bitch.
Portal us in, buddy. Portal us in. You gotta be quick though. Yeah, okay, he's not being quick enough.
He's almost.
Someone touch point. Someone touch point. Someone touch point.
Bounding
There we
back.
go. Okay, we're in. No.
I'm so sorry.
2, 3.
You're
I
good.
thought the portal was a second earlier.
This dude didn't portal in time.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Oh my
That was a
god, I
night-
got 32 kills.
I healed 24,000.
Yeah, we went crazy. That was an insane match between all of us.
Yeah, I
Where's
don't
it
get.
good?
I don't get. This is the one that had like the gold and stuff in it. I do not understand the matchmaking.
Oh, I have my Chrono Shield. Thank God.
I do not
Yeah,
understand
this
the
is
matchmaking.
gold 3 in it and shit. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that.
I mean,
Yeah, it's like-
the gold 3 on our team was my little Pookie tank. One of my little 2 Pookie tanks.
So yeah, he did good. He understood Strange, but yeah, it's like
He definitely
that's odd.
I literally don't think we could have done better.
No,
If
that
you
was
play
a really good
Stra-
match.
When you play Strange, you have to like, I guess, guys. When you play Strange, you have to like protect your healers because you have the big ass shield for a reason.
Or like just rush forward with one of your DPS like Punisher
Who
and
didn't
just
like
go
the
forward with it.
Mantis? Who didn't like the Mantis?
Oh, I only liked you guys. Whenever I lose, I only like my teammates. I never like anyone else.
No, like everyone else.
I know, I'm a bitter person. I'm
Like
fueled by
them.
rage.
I'm pretty sure.
Like them.
Pretty sure Sam already left.
What? Oh yeah, I'm in this scene. I don't stay there for long.
Gonna start next round.
Yeah.
Wait, so this will probably be my last one. If you guys want to keep going, I'll do like my after stream stuff that I didn't do, and then we could come back up and watch Squid Game.
Okay. Yes, like they have a gold 2 on their team now.
See what the fuck is this?
They have a gold 2.
What the fuck is going on, yo?
I mean, it might be because I'm silver 1 trying to even that out, but gold 2 does not even out silver 1.
They
That
have
does
3
not make
toppers
sense.
though.
But as much as it's about rank, it's also about how good you do in games. And you do really fucking good. Because guess what rank you really are?
I like this rank though. I'm like, I went down from diamond. I want to get back my diamond. I just want to be able to ban characters. That's all I want. I wish you could do it in plat. I want to ban like Venom and stuff too.
To win this one.
I tear through the cloudless night, just like the moon.
Wow, the 2 healers are the Pookie healers. Oh, wow, someone took your Captain America, Elijah.
Oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Oh my god.
He's gonna play Magneto.
Yes.
Oh, yes!
I knew it!
I love you!
Double team up.
He's a really good Magneto. And you know what Magneto also has? Like Doctor Strange?
I'm the fist of Khonshu.
Alright, alright.
We have the mustard dude. Oh my god.
To be fair, his shield isn't necessarily too good for blocking the entire group. He can only really block an ult.
Yeah,
no.
It's just like the individual shields that are nice.
It's not my
I ain't
fault
say
an
the whole
Egyptian
group.
god whispers in my brain and tells me who
But I can
deserves his
keep
righteous
people
vengeance.
alive
Okay, so maybe
with
not
my many
big
shields.
Yeah, I know. I know. There's been so many times where Magneto has saved the fuck out of my life. It's like, thank you, Magneto, bro.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Look at us. We're so girl boss. Anyway,
I know. I'm such a girl boss. I can't see him.
Dagger. Let's go, Tandy. Tandy.
That feels better.
I can't.
We're in there. Okay, we're going in.
People power.
Oops, that was the wrong honk. Whoopsies. Ah, I'm exiled.
Okay, a Hulk. That's exciting.
As usual, Namor only grossed me out.
You need their power.
It was a Scarlet Witch, wasn't it?
Damn. Careful.
Like, it's
What the hell's
fine.
in there? What's that?
Cloak and dagger.
Oh, it's mustard.
Squids, good.
Get away from it.
Your strength.
There you go.
Love battlefield medicine.
Great apologies.
Oh no! I tried to get my ult.
Hulk is really going for it.
The Hulk's just hulking out.
Khonshu,
watch
over.
Going up the stairs, going up the stairs.
Sorry, I know I should have ulted on point, but I was trying as quick as possible.
I shielded myself, sorry.
Surrender your strength. The moon!
I am ready to run the show!
Okay, you know what? I'll take that.
3 down. I'm Hulk.
Oh no!
Battlefield medicine.
I
know. I tried to say there. I double jumped and I was like drifting down. I was staring at her as it was happening.
I've come back from far worse than that.
Get him, get him, get him.
I was just over here invisible, and you were trying to find me. That's why he was going schizo.
He was going all Moon Knight.
Oh, thank you, Elijah. Oh, thanks to God. Oh. What the fuck just happened?
Thanks.
Oh, a squid's gonna kill me. Yep, there we go. I knew it.
Squid.
Yeah, them squids be crazy.
Wait, okay,
bro.
I just saw the cam of it. The squid was not looking at me when he killed me. The squid's hacking. The squid's hacking.
How is Cloak and Dagger still going fucking strong?
Squid hack, squid hack.
Okay. Fuck my life, bing bong. Fuck my life, bing bong.
Bing bong.
America! Uh-oh, scary America!
I am ready to put on a show!
Oh, they counter ulted. Well, we forced 2 ults, that's good.
Needed that, thanks. Time to drain.
Oh crap, run.
The cloak and dagger.
Perfect, perfect.
I saved the cloak and dagger.
Oh, good job.
But then they died.
What?
If we can somehow get on, I can ult. Even for a mere second.
I can probably get you close. Come on.
Go.
No more delays.
Ooh, I just barely made it in here.
I got the Namor.
Let's go. There's only one person. Let's go. You got this.
I jumped over it.
Good night.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Oh!
Bruce. Get better.
Bruce!
Well done, my son.
Brucey poo!
Bruce?
Namor.
Oh, but he just wasted his ult.
Nah, I'm dead as hell.
Me too.
Oh, Elijah, whole point. Oh wait, everyone's there with you.
Yeah, we're fine. We got it.
Oh, I didn't know everyone was chilling. My bad.
They got it. Ignore us.
My bad. I didn't know y'all was chill like that.
Didn't know y'all was like that.
I didn't know y'all was chill like that, bro.
Go, let's just come from the side. Never mind.
Get him off you. Don't touch him. No touching. It's against the law.
Oh.
Us against the world.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Nah, I don't agree. That I might have to agree with you.
I blocked it. I just heard that ult.
No.
Let's go.
Oh, went after me.
Let's go, Elijah.
I just 1v1 Scarlet and 1. Let's go.
Nice.
Elijah, you have your ult touch, bro.
Get him. Oh, come on.
I don't know if you knew.
What?
Sometimes I get looking and I don't notice I have my ult.
Once the other team cloak and daggers, that'd be perfect.
Surrender your strength.
Do victory.
It's Namor's love.
No smash.
I got it.
Yeah, why are they staying on this side?
Yeah, why are they over there and over here? What is?
What the fuck is happening? Oh, for fuck's sake, run. Not me. Oh.
Elijah! Yes! Wait, Elijah, you could have just taken her by doing your ult.
I can't take her ult. It would, I believe.
Yeah, you can.
Cloak and daggers, you can.
I'm sorry, what?
Cloak and daggers.
Yeah, you can do it in cloak and daggers ult to kill them, but not Luna.
Elijah, you gotta back up a little bit, bud. Cause I was about to die, so I had to go invisible.
Still not dead.
I'm hearing 5 different people, Jake.
Oh shit! I was trying to help you. Tanks win over healers, I'll tell you that much.
Brother was trying to talk to me.
I am ready to pick up the show.
Force and all.
I didn't see that, Elijah. I did not see that.
Battlefield medicine.
Still got the Luna behind us.
Well, it's not behind us anymore.
Oh my god, am I gonna lose to this Luna?
Yeah, whoever's in there. Sam.
She's won! Oh my god! All I wanted was that Luna.
Make sure at least somebody stays on point.
Yeah.
Magneto's gonna keep this line.
Okay.
Do the counter ult?
Damn. Nope.
Alright.
Counter ult. And I'm dead.
What?
No, we did have a cloak and dagger ult, but our cloak and dagger didn't do anything.
Oh, I'm dead. Elijah, it's only you there.
Elijah, you got this.
Wake up in
Elijah.
again.
Fuck.
Oh shit.
If our cloak and dagger had ulted. Do you guys hear me when I talk in game chat?
I think so, yeah.
I don't, for some reason. Wait, talking game chat right now?
let's remember to counter ult whenever the cloak and dagger.
Just like the moon.
Yes, I hear
Right
you.
heroes
Okay.
could make all the difference.
Yes, it just is at the exact same time as Discord, so it sounds like it's the same
okay.
thing.
I muted your voice chat.
Damn.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like, oh, I need to counter ult.
No, I won't be like, hey, I'm Lord, get
Do
off.
they not want to heal?
Well,
I
no,
guess
they
not.
maybe. Oh wait, they do.
I trust him.
I don't know. Maybe they angry at you.
Probably. I have all of it turned off, so I can't hear anything they say.
No
or
one's
they
speaking.
type.
I mean, no, they're not speaking or typing.
They'll be
But
coming in 30
Okay.
seconds. Stay strong.
Dagger, do you want to heal? Elijah.
I'm not really a
Elijah,
team
I hate to
guy.
break it to you.
I've got more than enough voices in my
Maybe you
head.
want
You were an Avenger once.
Yeah, but it didn't last long, and I burned my ID card.
I don't know if that sounded like I was being a douche.
Oh shit.
to. Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay.
Starts in 5,
Understood.
4,
I understood.
3, 2.
But it's not me who needs to understand, so that doesn't
You
matter.
have to stop them from securing the mission area.
I
they
wear
got it.
white for a reason. I want the bad guys to
I
see me
messed
coming.
up.
Uh-oh, Cly.
Needed that. Thanks.
Why am I out here?
Surrender
Why am I
your
still out here? Ouchie! Who the fuck pushed me, bruh? I know I'm being pushed on the playground.
I have been. Look, it's Namor's disgusting pets.
Keep them
Yay.
Got they over here.
Hey, they're behind us. Hey, they're behind us. I'm glitching out. I'm bugging out. Okay.
Oh crap.
I had rabies for a second there.
Luna's low.
Do you mind if I play Scorpio?
What?
You didn't want to play Scorpio right now, right?
No, yeah.
Alright.
At least I didn't wake up in the crazy house again.
Give this.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this.
Yeah,
This is
maybe.
a good one to give too, though.
Yeah.
We've got trouble.
Time to drain.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Oh my god, his wall went up. Okay, you know what? That worked actually.
I'm ready to put on a show.
I had to explain myself.
Act like an angel, just like crazy.
What happened to it? Surrender your strength.
Us against the world.
Yes, I'm coming dagger. All the healers are ulting. All the healers are ulting. We're ulting healers.
91 just redeemed.
Oh my god. Oh, heals. Okay, there we
I'm
go.
trying, Sam. You gotta stay with the shield. Stay with the shield.
I ran to the other side.
There's a.
Oh, that was a panic one.
They are like all around us, by the way. Like they are not in a stable spot. I can't see shit.
They do not
I
stabilize.
found them.
That was battle.
Hey, Brucey.
Brucey Banner?
Brucey Banner.
Time to The squirrel
Oh.
get the win? Really?
I just got the healer.
Nice.
Okay, no.
Phew. Almost didn't make it again.
Ow.
All good.
Namor was behind us. There we go, he did.
Okay, come on. Come on, healer.
I'm
You stop them in their tracks.
Where is he?
Yeah, I just wouldn't push too far. Yeah.
Surrender your strength.
We can keep it out here, I think.
I am ready to put on a show.
Get their asses.
Luna's alone.
Yeah.
Surrender your strength. strength.
Thanks for the memories.
A little help, please.
Us against the world!
Oh,
hello.
Counter
Not a. Do we have counter? Oh, fuck.
Happened to your
Double open.
squirrels?
Can we switch places?
Uh-oh, he's gonna get them. What? I was in the shield!
Not protected. My ult is not protected apparently.
I thought it did.
Protect it. Shit, sorry guys. I thought my ult would protect that.
Yeah, she couldn't see us. I saw in the kill cam, she did not see us. What? They changed that?
I'm pretty sure
It's
it
about
doesn't.
blast radius.
I'm pretty sure it isn't necessarily a floss. It's more of
What
a.
happened to her
It's a
squirrels?
blast radius. Yeah, it's blast radius. I knew that, but I didn't know that
if you didn't have
was
line of
that
sight.
powerful.
Yeah, if you didn't have line of sight.
No. It's not line of sight. No. It's about blast radius. She has a certain amount of blast radius.
That makes more sense now.
Yeah, it goes on slightly.
I am ready to put on a
Ah, they counter ulted!
She died. Luna died.
Shit. Okay, good job.
us against the
Counter ult,
world!
counter ult.
Nearly dead.
That would not happen to be ours.
Now my fists
Oh no, I think they have this. I can't stay on site.
Oh shit, guys. I guess.
This is on site.
Cloak and Dagger hasn't me yet. They just keep doing bubbles. I'm not tilted. What does that mean?
I think it's because I tried to explain myself so much.
What? Oh.
Because I accidentally sounded like.
I'm not tilted, you're tilted.
What?
I'm not tilted.
What?
I don't.
Wait, what's
I don't
going on?
understand
I'm
that. Yeah, I don't
confused now.
Have they
understand
been
this.
talking?
No.
I'm confused
Else
now.
I would have heard it.
No. What?
Bread.
No, I meant like, have they been talking in chat? Like, we didn't notice
No,
or something?
No.
It was me basically being like, yeah, sorry, I sound like a douche.
Oh.
Don't be mad.
I mean, Moon Knight is more satisfying just because you hear the da-da-da-da of all of them, and you can hear the hits that you're getting in, and the ult is amazing.
I healed
But
more
Squirrel
than
Girl
them.
is
Oh,
more
no,
fun,
wait.
I would say.
Yes, I did. What?
Yeah, Squirrel Girl is more like interactive and fun, but
Okay, I
Moon
gotta get
Knight
off
is
though.
definitely more like satisfying.
Come on.
So yeah, if you guys want to keep going, and I'll do my stream things, and then whenever you guys are ready, just text me.
I do have to
Yeah,
also skedaddle. I didn't realize that today was Friday and I have to put Abby to bed.
Friday.
Well, I
didn't realize
realized that. Well, I realized that it was Friday. I just forgot that I have put Abby to bed on Fridays.
Oh.
Go
Yeah.
do that.
Go put your sister to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
knock her
and stream
out.
and make food, so I'll probably be back on later. So you guys just let me know if you'd like me to hop on this account.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Alright,
Bye.
Like, okay, I said goodbye at the right time. Perfect. Oh, but yeah, I am starving, so I think I am gonna go get some food. Oh, let's leave Steam open. There we go. I hit over 200 hours collectively between my two accounts. I think, actually, let me take a moment. I might have an actual 200 hours on this game. My main account. Come on, profile. Come on. Not doing anything. It takes so long for it to, like, not load down. I don't know what it is, but to manage my account to change, I have to wait. I'm like, it takes forever. 4 enemies with single-handed Conchu, okay. But yeah, I definitely think that Squirrel Girl is the more fun character to play because you're just like bouncing around with her squirrels throwing acorns. But Moon Knight, when you put an Ankh down and you hear it just like ricochet around like 5 different people, oh my god, it's like ASMR somehow. I just feel so satisfied. Let's see, is it gonna let me get on? It's gonna take forever. Maybe switching the Steam accounts all the time is also not helping my computer. Like, everything is fine except when Marvel Rivals comes up. Okay, I'm at 192.4 hours on that account, and I have like 18 hours on my other account. I'm so close to getting a flat 200, guys. So close. I can't wait. I will feel like so happy when I get that. But let's see. Oh, we are going almost 4 hours. Yeah, we are going to head out. Let me see, guys. Let's see. Tomorrow, Saturday, so we're gonna play Batman. We might be able to finish Batman, and if we do, we'll play some competitive Marvel afterwards. And if we don't finish Batman, then we'll see how long we have on it. And if we just have like a teeny tiny bit, I'll play some on Sunday and then afterwards switch over to Silent Hill. Which, let me see. I'm gonna test it on stream to see if while my software is running, it will work, okay? We're not gonna play it right now. Update queued. Oh, won't let me do it. I have to update it. Oh no, that's fine. So let's see if this works. So if it doesn't work right now while my software is running, then it's an issue with OBS. Oh, it works. It works. So what did I do? I can't remember what I did. Like, I know I did something to fix it, but I can't remember what. Oh, graphics update. That's what it was. That's what I did. So Sunday we will be playing Silent Hill, except that now Firefox is not working. It's like I can have one thing on working perfectly, but everything else does not work. So let's see. Come on. Compiling shaders. It's taking forever. It's taking forever. It's fine though. It's all fine. Because now we know that it works correctly, and so Sunday will 100% be Silent Hill night. Except it's the, there we go, okay. There we go, okay, exit. So we know that this works, wonderful. Let's take a look here. Let's see who we're gonna raid tonight. Who is on right now? Obviously, Wolfina's not on. Let's go. No, there's a lot of people on tonight. So, where did Lil recently? We could go over and say hi to Angel Rose. Yeah, they're playing Destiny 2. I gotta get back into Destiny 2. Oh wow, it's a charity stream. They've been on for 11 hours. Wow, power to them. That's a long stream. It's a very long stream. But let's see, we are done for tonight. So tomorrow, like I said, we're gonna do Batman and maybe some Marvel afterwards. Yeah, I'm gonna go find out what Rusty's been doing, because apparently he just, I don't know, he's gonna be running all around the house because he just took his nap. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, baby has been so relaxed. So I'm gonna go, like, lay with her for a little bit, and she'll calm me down, and then see what happens. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Sorry if I'm a bit out of it. I'm like, my sleep schedule has been crazy, so we're trying to get it back to normal, or my normal at least. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Go drink water, go